I'm going to go back to another Dark Sword figure. There's actually some other bits on there too, like a Reaper bit there and some GW skulls over there, more Reaper bits over here, this kind of stuff too. But what I'd like to do is play around with this. Where did you go? This is the big thing. This is something that I first used a few years ago, and boy, I love how this can basically take any paint, you mix it, it turns it into a metallic color. No kidding, and we're going to definitely try that. We'll mix it with some of the Pro Acrylic transparents because these are especially high pigmentation here, and when you mix this with this, you're going to get yourself not just a metallic purple, but a really dark, rich metallic purple. It's the hardest thing to do with metallics. It's shade them. That's like really, really, really hard. So what we're going to do is not just mix these and make a metal color, but we're going to also shade with these things, because the more of this goes into this, this gets to be a lighter metallic color. We're also going to use some of the fun Green Stuff World metallic colors, because I've used these in some other previous sessions that we've got out on the palette here. A bunch of transparents. So, transparent black, transparent brown, transparent orange, yellow, purple. It's actually brown liner. That's for the base, because, well, we got to get through the base first. Now, what's the idea behind all this here? Well, let me see if I can find where's my Necrons here? Hopefully they're still around. So I'm just looking for my, 1 second here. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. So here's an example right here. Got ourselves TMM, true metallic metals. They even got OSL mixed in there. That was done using a combination of that metal medium, using some of the Green Stuff World metallics. So you can do a whole lot of interesting, instead of just, well, we're going to do it gold or silver or bronze or copper. You can do a whole lot more than that. Now, as I bring this back here, I do have a few examples. Here we go. Here's example for you of, there we go. You can see lots of, and even this green and that orange, that also has the metal medium mixed in there. You can see by how that has a little bit of sparkle to it, right? Even the object source lighting, that also has some of the metallic paints. Hey, we got Garroted in here, or Groot. Why am I always saying Garroted? Sorry about that. All right, let's throw some of this metal medium out onto the palette here. I am definitely looking forward to the new guys, because, well, you know, these guys are somewhat dated here, so it'd be nice to be working on something newer than these. Oh, Numbskull in the house. Hey, so was Drax actually live? I kind of stopped being able to watch a couple hours, well, about an hour or so ago. Geez, he must have just started up then. Holy smokes, because I did not get any notification. Unless somehow Twitch unfollowed me from him, which would be a really pain in the rear end. So I'm painting this Dark Sword Dragon here, and the idea is we're doing this with TMM. So I've got over here on the palette, get over here, a bunch of the Pro Acrylic transparents, and we're also going to be using some of these guys too. I'll throw these out as we need them, but that's one of the things that I used on that Necron there. Now look at the references down in the corner, especially that one off to the left. That's something that we're hoping to do. Now what I'm going to do is actually take this palette closer to the camera here so you can really see what's going on. So, a little bit of our metal medium. But just for the heck of it, we'll use the brown liner. Now check this out. Wouldn't it be nice to have a metallic color that dark? And believe me, that color is metallic right there. But look what happens the more metal medium we mix into it. Now look at that. That one color, and you can see it's shiny. It's metallic. Look at it, gets lighter and lighter and lighter. And any one of these colors over here As we welcome in Beef in the Hole. Yes, you should be particularly interested in this because this here, boom, that's the one. Yes, indeed. My palette centered, sort of. So what we're going to do first is the base. Hit the base first. Just do this here. So that's what the brown liner is out here for. A little bit of transparent black, some of the brown, and we're just going to hit these surfaces real quick here. Nothing fancy. It really is. I want to get. Oh, and these coins over here. So that's from Reaper. It's a metal bit right there. These actually, it's just literally a bit of green stuff where I kind of intentionally mixed too much when I was doing another project. Mixed too much green stuff, took what was left, rolled it out into basically a very long cylinder, let it cure overnight, and then I chopped it up into little bits and pieces, and guess what? I had a very nifty set of coins. All I had to do was just take an X-Acto knife and chop them up, and bam, there were some coins. So that was cool. Again, I'm just gonna chuck this over the top of these other. Oh, there's actually a piece of skeleton on this. Okay, I never really realized it. We got Gray Ghost in the house too. How are you doing? So Beef, there are a bunch of dragons like this. So, well, some of them are bigger, but I think there's about maybe, I'm gonna say between 4 and 5 dragons of this size. They're what would you call them? Worms, right? What are baby dragons or small dragons? They're called worms. Weenies and worms. We don't need any worms, but we do need weenies. Definitely need some weenies, but it's been a very weird, it's been a very strange week, that's for sure. And downstairs, Calvadia in the house too. How are you doing? Oh, thanks, Grey Ghost. Yeah, it's been a really, I mean, basically from last Monday to yesterday was just on so many fronts, just kind of surreal and bizarre. Now, right now, as we speak, as I'm doing this, basically right underneath me, pretty much in the basement, the Elegoo Mars 3D printer is making the first test print. Now, it's nothing interesting. It's like a pair of chess pieces or something. It's the thing that comes with the machine, and I have actual real miniature files for printing, but I thought, no, let's just do the one that they say should work, because it's a very simple. It's like a rook, right? It's just a rook, little castle shaped piece that should not be difficult to print. Let me see. Mini Monster Mayhem is a ton of drag. Well, oh yeah. That's the other reason why I want to be able to print things, is because think of the Artisan Guild. There's so many. It opens up just a monstrous amount of possibilities if I can get these stupid. Now I got the terrain one too. I've got the Ender 3. I'm not even gonna try using that one this week. That's gonna wait till next week, because tackling one printer at a time is more than enough in the current state of things for me. So that's one printer a week. I am not going to deal with spools and everything else. The problem is I can see I'm already going to have to buy more resin. That's for sure. Now I don't. I thought there were strainers that came with. Oh, we got Ars Groomy. How are you doing? Let's see, I got some of the Dark Sword Baby Dragons when Coolmany was having their 80% off sale. Yeah, now, I don't remember which one this is. I have no idea. However, okay, so now we've got that pretty well darkened up. Right? Good enough. as that dries, let us start to play with some of our gold. I'm going to throw some of my transparent brown back out here because we used it all up on the base. I am also going to chuck a little bit of this Caesar red out here. Now you can hear there is an agitator in there. You kind of need that. And I might have to, yeah, I'm going to have to punch these out, I think. If I remember, yeah. So, okay, there we go. There's a nice reddish metallic color. But we also wanted to make these into metallic, so let's do that here. Oh, look at that. Look what just happened to that brown. Let's throw a little more in there. Boom, yeah. We have a metallic brown. Look at that. We got ourselves a metallic brown. Nice thing is you can even glaze this should you want to. How often you try and do, what was that, like a Nuln Oil or Devlin mud or whatever, any kind of whatever it is, glaze over the top of your metallics. What happens? It ain't metallic anymore. At least not in the shadow areas. The part that you want dark, well, you just killed all of your metallic effect. Well, you saw how dark I can make the metallic here. So, not an issue. Not an issue. And again, just for you know what's and you know what's, let's go back to our boom. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing here. That same sort of TMM. We won't be having any OSL. I was tempted to, but I thought, no, let's just tackle the metallics here. And let's see, ours Groomy tried to paint a Kingdom Death Survivor with only red OSL from the lantern. Well, object source lighting, it's, for me, it's I love it. I mean, I can't get enough of it. But it has its pitfalls. There's a lot of little things you got to keep in mind, I suppose. Oh, what the heck? We are going to take some of our metal medium here. We'll even mix it with that black. Why not? Throw a touch of orange in there. Look at this. That's a metallic. Look at what happens there. All metallic. But not metallic paints. Way more control over it. Way more control. Now, I think this was going to be called something like tiny, small treasures or something like that. I think that's the name that I was tempted to go with on this. Look at that. There's a little bit of a different metallic color there. Kind of a reddish tone. So yeah, we can just vary this up. Let's like any other time that I'm doing these initial layers, right? I'm just trying to get as much variety as I can. I think this is our last bit of stuff. We haven't gotten any paint on yet. There we go. I also think that when you use the metal medium, you have more control over how transparent maybe your metals are going to be. So bang, there we go. Yeah. Now the nice thing is it's not like insanely shiny either. Because we did, again, mix some colors in that. We can certainly get lighter tones into that. We got a Mr. Snowiak in the house. How are you doing? I don't know if you were in time here to hear that downstairs right now, almost right underneath me, the Elegoo Mars is doing the very first test print to see what the heck's going to happen, because I have no clue what the heck's going to happen. No clue whatsoever. It's most likely going to be a hideous failure. I'm probably going to go down there in a couple hours and find out that nothing printed, or part of it printed, or something bad happened. I think that's kind of par for the course. I'm going to just grab me something to use as an off-white here. Just throw a little bit of pale green out there. And while I'm at it, I think this was like aqua turquoise or something. So yeah, it's like a chess. It's a rook. It's printing well, actually, I think it's printing 2 rooks, and I think one of them is kind of a standard rook, and then the other one, I'm just shaking this up here. You can hear that banging around in there. So this is not a new color, so I don't think I have to punch a hole in there. Okay, there's a little bit of that green. So there, look at the, so that is not necessarily wet paint there. That is the shine of your homemade metallics. We are, however, going to grab ourselves another fresh brush because, well, oh, and we're also going to maybe throw out some fresh brown liner if I can find some. There we go. Unadulterated by the metallics. Maybe even a little bit of maiden flesh here. The one thing with this, the metallic medium here, this is what we're using. This basically becomes your lightest color right here. 3D printing is the whole world. Oh, we have Jackson Joni. How are you doing? Welcome in. And I've got both types of printers because I have to print terrain. I've got to print miniatures. There's all this stuff that I have to print, and it's kind of it's a little daunting to say the least. Wow, there's coins all the way up there. Okay, that's good to know. It is definitely a little bit. Well, I know there's like a typical failure rate of prints is anywhere between 3 to 20%. I'm sure I'm going to be closer to that 20 percentile when I start this off here. And my big worry is that so many early prints fail and I run out of resin and I can't get any more because, well, nobody can get resin. Or rubbing alcohol, well, sorry, 90% alcohol. I spent enough time just trying to set up an area for those things. So here we go. See, we're just trying to get some regular colors here before we dive on into a little bit of my transparent orange in there. Again, that's the Pro Acryl transparent orange. Just throwing some of that here into ye old ground. Now I think, now of course, I don't know if it lies as far as when it tells you it's going to take this long to print. When I do things like renders of my videos, sometimes it'll say 2 hours and then 2.5 to 2 hours 45 minutes later the thing is actually done. So I don't know. Certainly not like a piece of terrain that could potentially take 20 to 40 hours to print. Again, we're just working around here. We're doing the non-metal portions at this stage here. Again, that's a little bit of the brown liner mixed with some of the, I think it's pale light green or something like pale light green. I think that's what it's called. Again, we got all these coins there. Those were made. Just taking the green stuff, leftover green stuff. I do a couple different things with leftover green stuff. I'll either roll it in and make little snakes out of it, like actual snakes, coiled snakes, whatever, that I can throw on bases. Or I'll make these just long, narrow cylinders, and those could be coins. They could be, well, that could be metal. Why? I'm just thinking non-metallic metals. Just the brain going to the automatic place. So again, we're doing our non-metal parts here, so you can see we got some shiny on this. That is totally dry. Completely dry. So that is definitely a metal effect. We are now going to chuck in a little bit of our, that's the Maiden Flash, that's the Reaper Maiden Flash, just to warm it up a touch. So I think those were skulls. Or did I have any more? Nope, no other skulls there. Gonna see what's gonna happen with this treasure chest here. Not sure what other things will be metal on that. We got the crazy little vegetation stuff. Oh, Jackson Joni, I started last year. Once you have the sweet spot for layer height, exposure time, lift speed, temperature for certain resin, then it's only how good the supports are. Now that I've been assured that and these are supports by experienced folks like the Artisan Guild folks, and they've all said, look, we have printed these many times. We know these supports are good. You don't have to be cutting stuff and putting the supports on yourself. I told him I insisted on that. I said, I don't have time for that. I can maybe learn the printer. And I did the little diagnostic thing at the start. I'm sure it's not level. I'm sure it's not level. I'm sure it's not tight enough. It's too loose somewhere else. I put it in that area because it's very free from sunlight and UV. And, well, hopefully it's going to be dry enough. Of course, now it just keeps raining all the time. So there's pretty much nothing I can do about that. Let's see. Artisan Guild Sports are top notch. Well, that is good because one of the primary things that I'm going to try and print will be Artisan Guild stuff. Instead of me driving them nuts, having them try to print stuff for me, this way I could just print it myself and at the scale, because I try to print some stuff at 72 mil. So that's something that I could just take the burden away from them. And there's just so many amazing things out there. Well, and even stuff like this, the shield, this treasure chest. If I could print out 20 of those, that would be really cool. As we welcome in Lady B to the house. Kathy does not want to get involved with that. That she was actually kind of against us getting one of those 3D printers. I was not necessarily, let's just say I wasn't beating down the door to get one myself. But I would have liked one because I didn't want to fall behind on the whole 3D printing thing. I was a little concerned about that as the world now moves more and more that way. Didn't want to fall behind. And, well, it's also for potential for classes. So there is actually some miniatures I'd like to have sculpted in the form of, say, some busts that would be really handy for classes. I want to save that for the metal stuff. Jeez, I keep wanting to go in here, then I have to realize, no, I want to use the metals on that. I'm just trying to get all of the non-metal stuff with some sort of color on it here so that we got a reference. Okay, so that's going a little bit better there. So, Lady B, actually, have you experimented more with the, I must call it AK-47, with the AK Interactive, the snowy stuff there? Now, I'm going to throw some more of this metallic medium. Again, this is from Vallejo makes some of this. Actually, Green Stuff World makes some of this. Even, I think, Turbo Dork has a version of it. I think the Green Stuff World, it would be called Arctic White. That's about the closest thing there to a metal medium. But look at that. Look at that. Here, I'm going to actually hold it up to the camera here. Look at this for a bright gold. You can't, they don't sell a gold like that. They don't sell that gold, sorry, anywhere. Because what I ultimately wanted to do was have a somewhere between a 72 to 100 millimeter, whatever, like a generic female head and the hairstyles would be interchangeable. So you'd have one that's kind of like a raging barbarian. Look at this. Look at that, huh? That's getting lighter, yes. Look at this. Again, that's a homemade metallic gold there. Yeah, look at that. And if we want this darker, we can glaze some gold in there too. Look at that. Here, I think I'll hold it this way so you can see it a wee bit better. And let's say you want the barbarian with the wild hair and braids or whatever. Let's say you want a more modern type of a thing with that sort of classic, more close cut. Oh, thanks, Lady B. This is from Dark Sword Miniatures. It's one of several, I guess, baby dragons, but I think they just call them worms. And I'll be doing a bunch of these. This is just kind of the first experiment to see, because we thought it would fit on camera relatively well. And I didn't have to alter my camera setup at all, really, to be able to get this one on here. So I thought that's kind of a cool thing. So you can see how this is getting, starts to get a little bit lighter, but we're also changing the color of this now. Changing the color. It's sort of like shaded base coat, but with metals. Yes, this is metallic paint here. Oh, let's, after we mess around with this, then we can start to play around with our little gold pieces there. Look at that. That is just, it's really fun. There's just more control over this. Having the traditional metal, like bright shining gold or deep gold, or names that they throw out there. Calvadia has a sprained neck. And Gridloxis in the house. Also be sure to give Gridloxis a follow. So how did it go with the prepping of the plinths there? I hope that was not too tedious. And again, if I'm a little distracted, it's because I'm wondering what's happening downstairs with that 3D printer. Is it just printing nothing? Because I was watching sort of an introductory video. There's a person that hadn't used the printer before, and they filmed their process of doing it, and they tried it twice, and they got nothing out of it the first 2 times. Then they put lubricant on something. Actually, it was right around like the bottom of where the plate meets the tray, the vat, your vat of resin or something like that. Or no, it was on the bottom plate or something like. Yeah, I guess because it wasn't sticking, or was sticking too much. There was too much suction being created, something like that. Now some people had already started telling me that because the Z-axis, when it moved on that, it was making a loud sound and not moving very well. They said, oh, that might be broken. Well, and this is, again, a person who never used one before. He basically took some lubricant, put it on the Z-axis, and it made no more sound, and it moved fine. And guess what? I did the same thing myself, and the Z-axis made no more noise. I mean, it was making some nasty sounds, let me tell you. So again, we haven't gone to this brighter gold at all yet, but you can still see I got my reddish color here. You can see I can let that show through. Look at all that fun layers of metal color there showing through. Now let's take this to a different range here. We're gonna go after some of these little coins in here. That's our kind of a reddish metallic there that we got. Doesn't seem to be any. I was looking for any gemstones in that treasure thing. I did not see any. So again, I'm just going to hit my little piles of coins here. It's about time, because I don't want to forget those, lose track of where they are. This was the purple and some of the orange mixed together with the metal medium. So now we're starting to introduce some metal colors there too. I'm going to actually throw some of that reddish color into there now. That was about a touch of the purple here. A little bit of the brown liner. I'm going to glaze that on the interior of his mouth, like so. Like that. I'm going to get into some of my metal color here. So hopefully, yeah, you can see. You got to be able to see that's got a color to it, but yet it is still metallic, so I can shade things darker and still have it be metal. Let's see. Gridlock is doing awesome. Let's see. I'm just looking. The man, the myth, and the paintbrush. Check out the blow. Oh, thank you very much, Lady B. That is appreciated. Actually, you can check out. I'm gonna turn up my brightness a bit, and I'm just gonna make sure we got that going pretty well. The ice elemental. So this guy here. This is the thing in oils. So we just did that. That was the last session. Actually, that's up on YouTube now. And there he is. And look at this. So I did nothing to, there's no sealer on this or anything like that. Does he look shiny? Not at all. Not at all. And you can watch, again, he's still up on the VOD, but you can check him out on the YouTube channel. This guy painted in oils. As we welcome in Big Bad B. Numbskill is just chillin'. So let's see, AK's metal medium. Well, I'll have to eventually, well, you know me, I'll have to try that one eventually too. All right. I've got some of this brighter gold here. Again, this is that homemade gold. I'll show you right here. So that's just taking your transparent yellow, mixing it with the metal medium, and then we got that right there. Let me see. Akuspus. I just sent you a friend request, but I can't figure out how to send a whisper online. Yeah, I will. Let's see. Did you send the? Oh, it was a Facebook friend request. So okay, I will. I'll hit you up then. After this is over here. Wow, look at what that's doing. See, look at how bright these are. So I'm down here. Oh my goodness. What was the old GW? Mithril silver, right? That was their lightest metal color. And gold, the only way you could highlight gold in any way using the metallics was to use mithril silver. Well, imagine, look at that. Look at the intensity of that as that shoots around there. She's transferring from Vallejo monocolor to AK Interactive's 3rd gen acrylics. That's the stuff in those new bottles, right? With the kind of I don't know, what would you say, not quite round covers on them, or lids, or whatever you would call them. All right, there's some more. Look at that. There's some more gold in there. We got a genuine vision in the house. I'm sure every freaking person here is already following Genuine Vision, but if you're not, or if Twitch has suddenly unfollowed you, which happens, it's happened to a lot of other people I know this month, be sure to give him a follow. I am just really having so much fun with this metal medium here. Wow, look at how much brighter I can get here. So again, that's just transparent yellow mixed with the metal medium. And now I am getting myself a very intense, bright, shining gold color here.
So say we all. So say we all.
Thank you so much for the sub here. Let's get. He's gonna get. But then, yeah, the dragon says, "That's my treasure." That's mine. You don't get none of that. I think this is going to be, well, I mean, he's not exactly huge, but this will be the largest thing so far that I've tried doing in TMM. We got way bigger things than this. Way bigger things than this that I want to do with the TMM. Whatever the creature caster Shaggoth is, I want to definitely use this on him. I was actually thinking even about, well, I want to do this in oils, using some of the MIG Ammo oil brushers to do the same exact thing as what I'm doing here. I don't know how that's going to work necessarily. Let's see, those lids are designed to put a small drop of paint on it so you can see the colors. That's it. And again, Jackson Joni, thank you so much for the sub. It is definitely appreciated. Wow, look at the difference that just made there. Let's see. I'm just looking. Yeah, the so say we all. Let's get some of our nice bright gold in here. Yes, indeed. He is shinier and shinier. But there's a value to this. When you're dealing with the metallics, yeah, you can make it silver or gold, but getting shading, like real, genuine shading, not quite so easy. Like Crispus, I'll look and see, because obviously you get the notifications and such, and I will hopefully not be too fatigued or just bewildered in a few hours, so that I remember to try and do that. Here, we'll just to bring out some more of this. It starts to get a little bit more, again, that image on the lower left over there, that's what I'm really after there. So there's some greens that I want to get into this. Not too much though, because then that's going to make it almost more like a bronze dragon. We don't want that. But we're definitely, look at this, able to bring out some of these scales here. Let's see. Oh yeah, a little discussion on the AK paints. I have never used those. I tried using the, what the heck, the Optilung stuff. That just was that was very unsatisfactory, like a lot unsatisfactory. So I've never used those since, especially since what was way more satisfactory was my own paints. I can make this even lighter here. I can mix more of that metal medium into that and make it lighter. And while I'm at it, I'll just pick out a couple of these teeth here. And then I'll go back and hit some more glazes in there, but glazes that have some of the metal medium mixed in for sure. For sure. Now I'm looking over at my guy there. Yeah, and it's nice that I've got the red in there, but again, too much red, it's going to look more copper. Too much green, it's going to look like bronze. So it's a delicate little dance right here. Actually having some purple in it, not a bad thing. Yeah, I've only ever seen I saw a few pictures of the new AK acrylics on Facebook a while back when they first were making a fuss about them. That just, to me, I won't really be needing that because, well, heck, you know me. If it was up to me, I'd only be using oil paints and not much else. So I'm not looking to absorb yet another acrylic paint. I mean, if it's one of those things where someone sets them in front of me and says, here, test those out, can you break these? I will gladly try to break paint, because that's what I do. I break everything. Yeah, Lady B, there was nobody more disappointed. See, look, I can still get lighter here. I'm still getting lighter. No one was more disappointed in that than me because I've heard a lot about them, right? And when you see them, that just looks. You see that and you say, "Oh, you should love this. This should be fantastic." And it just was not fantastic. Now, I have not given up on them altogether because, well, I bought this. I haven't even used this yet. And I was told that if you use this, then it kills all that horrible shininess and makes them act a little bit better, more like the oil brushers. So, we'll try that out at some point. I just want to make sure that I've got caught up on. I think I'm pretty well caught up on everything. Man, look at these coins down here. They've got all kinds of. Some of them are more green. Some of them have a little more reddishness to them. But each one actually looks like freaking gold. The darndest thing is, okay, where's do I have actually a gold sitting out here? I'm looking through these. What's interesting is that the so-called actual metallic paints, their golds are always, to me, very not gold. They're always very disappointing. Let's get some lighter golds over here. The old Vallejo model. That must be Vallejo model color there. New bottles of the pale dark blue. Yeah, just I used to use Vallejo a lot. I mean, you look at my old videos, the old painting pyramid videos. There's quite a few Vallejo colors in there, and eventually, just well, getting them proved to be more and more difficult. And to me, the best ability is availability, which, well, that's why I was using the Reaper stuff, because there was tons of it, and it was real easy to get. Look at that. See, a little bit of a touch of it there. Touch more of it here. But now this is where it gets interesting, because we got to reflect some of the ground here. So I'm going to get a little bit of green into this here. And you can see what I got, but it's also kind of on the translucent side. So, yeah, we're making this not just metallic. We're making it lighter. We're also giving it a greenish tinge. And we're going to do that down here as well. Going to go even more with that. And I want it to be subtle.
Who enters my domain?
We've got a hyperphase. We've got a hyperphase entering our domain. Well, everyone, be sure to give hyperphase a follow. Usually, I almost never get to see hyperphase because, well, I'm probably streaming at the same time. But thank you so much for the raid, and we'll welcome in the raiders. We'll welcome you guys in. Vallejo model color. Yeah, we used to have a bunch of that. Well, we got a lot of it as prize support. So that was my introduction to it. Now let's get some of that green metallic paint on the other side. So what we're going to do here is the new raiders come in, we're going to introduce them to what we've got going on here. This is it's a rare thing for me doing TMM. I almost never get a chance to do it. So what are we doing? We are taking this right here. So this is Pro Acrylic, but Vallejo makes one of these. Green Stuff World makes one. Even, was it the Turbo Dork makes something kind of like this. What we're doing is we're taking that and we're mixing it with, well, regular paints and even the transparent paints here from Pro Acrylic. And the idea is, and I'm going to just kind of go back here and refresh this so that people, again, that are coming in can see it now. So this right here is your metal medium. I'm going to take a little bit of this, take something that's nice and dark like this purple over here. So look at what I've got. Look what happens with this. Look at that very dark yet metallic purple. Look at that. They don't sell basically a purple like that. And here's the other thing. Look at this. The more metal medium that I mix in here, look what happens. Look what happens here. Look at how many different metallic colors I just got. Metal medium, purple, 5, 6, 6 different purple metallic colors. And I'll show you again. This is some painted examples of such things. Actually, one of these, aha. See that figure, the Jaime Lannister way off on the left? That was done the same way. You'll see there's red reflections on his armor. That was red paint mixed with the metal medium, makes it a metallic red, boom, reflections. Now, this is a more elaborate version here, TMM with OSL. You can do OSL with the metal medium because you just mix the metal medium with your OSL colors. Poof, you got glow and it's metallic. Yes, indeed. So check those guys out. That was actually one of my army painting series, a whole 5-part series on using the metal medium in the way that you're seeing. Now let's utilize this purple here somewhere. Now here you can see there's a bit of a greenish tinge on the bottom of those wings there. And then here we've got our brighter gold. Now I'm going to throw in some of this purple here. Let's see if you can. Ah, look at that. You see it? Wow, look at that. Boom. Oh, yes. That is what we're looking for. Check this out. Yeah. So now, remember I talked about if I have too much reddish in there, it's going to be copper. Too much green, you get it bronze or brass. But purple, that's the one color that I could use in here to just have it not be an endless sea of, well, sparkly tan. That's what we'll call metallic gold. Look at that. See, it's almost like a little bit of a color shift there. Look at how that changes a touch. We'll do some of that here on the underside. We've been doing some of the green there. Now we're going to get a little bit of this purple color in there, because why not? And then, oh look, we got some things over here. Now watch what happens. You can see that is a metallic color. Look at that. See how sparkly and shiny that is? That is a homemade metallic color. It is custom to the darkness, to the color, to everything that I want it to be, and it's a freaking metallic paint. Oh, catch you later, Hyperphase. It's dinner time. Might be back in a little. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, go check out that the work in progress there. I'll have to check that out. Oh, look at that purple. Man, that's insane. What this stuff can do. I got it oriented so you can see it. I'm just putting some purple here in these in his fins. I guess you'd call them that. Here we're going to do a little bit of reflected light here. But again, it's a metallic color. I want some of that up here too. So see what happens? Look at how that changes again. Okay, look at that picture to the lower left. See how it kind of changes? His face has a little bit of green, and then it's on his chest there's a little more of a greenish color, but then other parts it's very yellowish. Some parts are more orange. We are going to be doing all that kind of shifting around here. So look what we got here. It's a little bit green there, and now we just shifted it towards purple in here. Now, of course, the camera might get a little bit bonky trying to track all of the shiny things. But when we first started this, all we did was we took the, what was that, the transparent brown for the most part, right? A little bit of the purple, mixed it with the metal medium, and then dove in. Oh, we got echo side. Yeah, it's not like I don't like the Turbo Dork color shift paints, or even the Green Stuff World ones. I mean, you can use them, but to me, you can't shade with them. But look at this. You can see I've got purple here. Right next, there's a little bit of green there. There's some reddishness in there. We've got, look at this, what's happening here on his spines. What's happening there as those get down towards his head. It's just this ability to create whatever freaking metal color that I want. Now, okay, let's just grab something here that's got some blue in it. Come on, here we go. So a transparent blue. I'll chuck it out here somewhere. Just find a spot. Boom, like so. We'll mix some of this and our metal medium. Oh, look at that. Now we've got ourselves a bluish metallic color. We got an axe over here. So instead of it just being, oh look, it's silver. Yay. No, that axe has some bluishness to it. And if I throw a little bit more of the metal medium in, it gets a little bit lighter. So that's where your TMM comes in. That's the T in true metallic metals, because you're essentially giving it a shaded color. So here I'm going to take some of that blue. I'm going to throw it on this shield here, just because. So now, see, we're starting to get a little bit of color shift on that shield too. Not so shabby. We're also going to throw some of that blue in here. Yes, indeed, letting some of that purple show through. We've got some chains. That's actually some bones over there, but then we've got some metals to do over here. The trim on our little treasure chest like this. Okay, some more of our, again, homemade metal color. We can custom make it to whatever the value we need. Anything, doesn't matter. And look at this, I'm going to take some of that yellow here. I'm going to mix it in with my, look at how intense that green is. Look at that. Look at how intense of a, that is as intense of a green as this is, only it's metallic. Oh, let's see. Lady B, I learned so much watching you add and subtract, adding and subtracting. It is, you're right, it's like adding and subtracting. Oh, look at that. Look at that bright green in there. I was curious if you could do a non-metallic metal type of thing with normal metallic. You can, with just the metallic paints. It's just a pain in the keister. I mean, a colossal pain. Doing it with the metal medium is so much easier, like as you saw, the Necrons and, which one? I think it's this one. Yeah, so Jamie over there on the left, that was so much easier, just taking the metal medium and mixing it into the same colors I would normally use. It's basically any color I would use for NMM, I just add the metal medium to it. Look at this right here. You've got this interplay. You got that purple there, that green over there. Look at how it's, and you can see how reflective it is. Look at my finger. So it's metallic. That is the sweet. Here we got, look at this. Bright green and purple right next to each other. Right next to it. We're going to do it over here too. Look at this. More of it here. I mean, he is quite, look how sparkly that guy is already. Have we been at this? We have not been at this an hour. We've literally been painting. Well, and think we spent a lot of time out here too. There's maybe 20 minutes of painting on this freaking dragon here. And look at what we've already done. And essentially it's somewhere between 20 to 25 minutes. It's insane how easy. Oh yeah, I just got some green right there. And that outer edge. Now I'm going to get some of that. But it's not just any old green. I mean, that's a very intense green there. Look at this. You just put some of it right there on his chest. We're going to put some here on his wing / arm. Now here, down here, not quite so bright. I want to save that for up here Dang, he's got some shine on him. Oh, look at this. So there's my bright green right next to that purple color. Think of it almost like the secret weapon, like the purple heat and the blue heat and red heat and all that kind of stuff. As we welcome in Laminess and One Boot. Oh, sure, One Boot. I once I discovered the metal medium, and it was actually it was really doing it with the bolt action stuff. That's where I really first caught wind of doing that. I'm going to take actually, look at this, some black here. I'm mixing it with the metal medium. So now we've got ourselves a bit of a dark green here. And I needed blackened steel for the bolt action, for any kind of exposed metal there. MG42 or whatever it was, assault rifles, whatever that needed the metal. Look at it. Now we're starting to add some darker green here. And there. Also here. But it's metallic. And that's the key thing. Once I found that the metallic medium or metal medium, different companies call it different thing. Let me shade. Look at this. So this is black, a little green, mix it with the metal medium. I'm essentially painting almost like a black metal color over this. What happens when you do the... Oh, let's see. One Boot uses Vallejo metal medium. This is the Pro Acryl here. And I've got Vallejo metal medium.
Hello, little hobbits. Spark my ganja.
Operation Mad Dog, thank you so much for the follow. So, funny thing is, I've got about 6 containers of this because I was going to be teaching a class at Adepticon. Guess what? TMM. Now, it wasn't going to be this dragon. It was actually going to be, oh, what the heck is it? One of those Stormcast Eternals or something like that. But again, I've got this. This is almost like a black metal, black greenish metal color here. And I'm shading with it. What's the hardest thing to do with metallics is do any kind of real actual shading that has any kind of real actual color to it. Well, I can do that with these. And NG Lamines, thanks for joining. Oh, and thanks for pointing that out. I didn't mean to miss the query there. I always try to catch those. So look at the difference between this side. Down here, they're equally shiny, but look at how dark they are. That's dark, pointing down. Now, let's go a little bit lighter now. So I'm going to take that same color. Well, all I'm going to do is add some metal medium to it. Now it becomes a lighter color. Same color. It's just lighter. And now I'm going to get myself some reflected light here. That's this color. Look at that. Well, here's the other thing too. I mean, I like to say economical, other people say freaking dirt cheap. But when this turns every paint color you have in your possession into a metallic color, do you need to buy all those sets of metallic paints? Not really. They're nice. Look, these I've used these. These are really, really nifty. But this is just, to me, I like things that give me maximum flexibility, maximum control over the medium itself. Look at that nice little light on the edge there, but it's almost like a silver color. A little less gold, just because of how close it is to the ground over here. So again, we're doing that some more. I can even shift some of the metals there that are on that chest a bit. Little bit of, look at that, right? So that, look how that shifts. Look how that shifts from green to like a reddish purple. It's We're also doing our own color shifting, but what's impossible to do with color shift paints is shade anything. You cannot get shading with those. It's basically impossible. That's not super helpful. So let's get ourselves down in here, a little bit of reflection. But you can see, look at that. I mean, when have you seen basically something painted in metallics that has that kind of color and shading to it? Look at all the purples and greens in there. You just don't get that. So one boot, yeah, you will definitely be seeing me doing way more TMM things. And like I said, the Necrons, I'm not sure if you saw those. Where the heck, there they are. So this was where I first kind of tried doing it on a mass scale. And that's object source lighting with metallic paints. And you can see them a little bit closer up there. Now I do have, where did you go? Oh, where are you? I just misplaced him. Where did he go? No, actually, I have one of these on the YouTube channel. So it's not this guy. I don't know what happened to my original one. He just kind of decided to there he is. So this one, check out my YouTube channel. Just James Wappel YouTube. See, even here in this freehand, I mixed the metal medium in that green, in that orange. So even that has metallic. You can see this is shiny here, even though it's the green. Same over here. So we mixed all of the, look at all that, the purples and blues and everything like that, all done with the metallic paints, or the metal medium, I guess, more specifically. Let's go back to getting some lighter colors in this, because we've gone darker now. I'm going to get some more metal medium out here, like so. And the Vallejo stuff works just fine too. I mean, it doesn't matter. But now there's that. I'm going to get some of this orange here. Look at that. There's a whole new metallic color. It's very bright, very intense. Well, I'll catch you later, Luminous. Well, probably tomorrow. Well, later today, because it's already tomorrow. And now let's get this a little lighter. And I'm going to throw a touch of the yellow in. Oh, look at that. Look at how intense this is. You can't get this in a metallic paint. You just can't. You just can't. And I got my purple here. I don't want to wipe that out, but I am trying to get a little bit more, even a bit more of a orangey look to some of this gold here. I don't want it to get too green, because if it does, it's going to look too much like bronze or brass or whatever. It's also going to let me, I'm just trying to, you can see there's some individual strands here, like, so that's right in amongst all that green on the end there. Here's a little more, look at that. So we got a yellow right next to all that purple there. We'll leave that there. We're not going to wipe that out. Not going to lose that for sure. Bam. We're going to put some here, though. Let's get some separation over here on some of the belly scales. Make sure some of those have a bit of a warmer look to them. Wow, look at how much brighter we can make that. Same on his tail here. So yeah, this is a person who just obviously, just because of commissions and everything else, just the way it worked out, I never ever got a chance to do metallics at all. It just, no one wanted metallics. So the only way I was able to do those is because of, well, the Patreon page, and people wanted to see TMM videos, and that sort of created the wiggle room for me to basically make figures for myself that have the metallic paint. Now here, This is more just the straight up metal medium. Less of this, but more of the metal medium, so now it's even brighter, kind of orangey color. Gonna throw a few of those here, a couple of them. Here, let's get some of this on his coins. I'm gonna get even more of the orange, more of the yellow. Metal medium to make sure that it's actually gonna be metal. And away we go. On some of these coins here, make sure they got some red. And then on her shield here, we're gonna cast a few parts of that. So it's got some blue on there, it's got some purple on there, now it's got some gold. It's got all kinds of colors, and I'm thinking this, actually I'm gonna change that from blue to more of a gold trim. Can you see that? Maybe if I put it this way. Yep, now you can see. So, but I'm letting some of the bluish metal show through, of course. Oh, thank you so much for the cheer. Oh, it's Guru's. Thank you for the cheer. Dragon's got, oh, that's mine. That's his. He says, it's my color. I'm gold. That's all mine. I want all of it. That is a greedy dragon right there. That is a greedy gold dragon. Well, greedy baby gold dragon. I'm going to work a touch of this lighter gold into his mouth here. I might even see if I can go zoom in a touch here. So 1 second. Actually, ooh, this is another thing I want to try. I want to see what happens. Zoink. So we still got shadow. We still have light and shadow. We still got shine. But then we bring back that color intensity, and man, you can see all the shifting colors everywhere. Get a little bit closer to him here. See what happens. Now, where is my... Here we go. Gonna see what I can do here for his eye. Let's do something like that, and then we'll do some dark color around it. Most likely the purple. Okay. This is just, well, some brown liner, some of the transparent purple. Again, just to make it darker. Let's get some nice dark right into here. Like that. Do the same thing on the other side. Nice and dark again. Nostrils. Because if you want to have light, you must have dark. This is where we're going to really start to work in some nice darks. That's also going to make our gold stand out that much more. Oh, thanks GB Biker. I appreciate it. This is a dark sword. Well, baby dragon slash worm sort of a thing here. And I've been mixing the metal medium with all of my regular paint colors here to try and get as many colors as I can squeeze into this. Now, let's go back to that purple here. So that's our metallic purple. Nice little shift there. Also want to do that right here. So like what we did on the other side. Here's some of that metallic purple again. It's my own, basically I'm making my own custom metal colors as I need them. Here's back to some of that super bright, basically yellow, transparent yellow mixed with mixed it with the metal medium, and got myself a very nice, like the gold version of mithril silver. Let me see. Such a machine. Yeah, that's, well. Oh, catch you later, Big Bad Bee. Thanks for hanging out. There were practical reasons for it. For companies, the metallics do not photograph well at all. They're just so difficult to photograph, so it makes sense. Also, for the people I was doing the commissions for, well, it had to match stuff that was already painted, and stuff that was already painted was not metallic, so there wasn't going to be metallics there. And really, the thing that opened it up was, well, okay, I did the Patreon page. That the Patreon page keeps it so that I don't have to just do endless commissions 24 hours a day, every day. And that created the room where I could actually do something like this and experiment, basically. Look at, we're going even lighter. So there's even more metal medium there. Look at that. I can still get lighter in here. But now that's a shape. It's actually following part of the lines that are sculpted into his wings there. We need to get a little bit lighter right here. I know it's a little bit shiny. I realize it's a little on the shiny side, but look at that. Making those a little lighter now too. Oh, his foot. Why not do some of this on his foot here? And again, that's going to be a bit of a cooler gold color. Do we do his arm? We still got to do his other foot here too. You can't see it. You can actually, sort of, kind of see it. Some gold coins. Oh, geez, there's a whole bunch of gold coins here that I totally missed. How the heck did I not see these? Alright. Marked some of those, getting some lighter golds on those. I'm going to try and do a little bit of a lighter gold on this shield here before we kind of dust it and make it more corroded. Touch of lighter gold over here on this mace slash axe. Alright. This like certainly could use some more, and that's got nothing going on. We need our green again. So here's our greenish gray. It's reflecting this rock color. Oh, let me see. One of their most used items I have in my painting arsenal is my metal medium, because I can turn any paint or color into a metallic. It's like a superpower. I mean, it lets you do something that normally you could not do. There's some of that again, some of that grayish color here. Just having a lot of fun with that. So much fun with that. Let's get some underside of whatever those are, his ears or whatever. I'm not quite sure exactly what those are. If you wonder why I'm using this grayish color, well, I'm trying to reflect the rocks onto this, because gold, you can't get much more reflective than gold. So it's got to reflect those rocks, just like we did over there. We'll give this a little bit of a wash there. And now I'm gonna see here. Let me grab some of my. This is the transparent brown here from Pro Acrylic. We're gonna throw this out here, like so. Come on. And what I want to do actually is mess with a little bit of a glaze. So here's my purple, transparent brown. Enough of the metal medium in here to just make it metallic. Look at that. A nice rich color there, but still metallic, and it's also darker. And I'm just looking to get some shading in some areas. We got lots of light, but now look at that. See, I'm able to go back in here, get some dark, take some of that excess away, and it's essentially a glaze. When's the last time you took a metal or a metallic color and glazed with it? I'm thinking most people haven't really done that too much. Oh, sure thing, one boot. Now, obviously, this lasts 2 weeks, right, as a VOD. But what I'm gonna do is like I do with all of the, well, if I can, sometimes the original footage maybe gets a little bit corrupted or whatever. But like this guy, this was my last session. I painted this in oils. He is up on the YouTube channel now. All 3.5 hours or something like that of me painting this guy is up on the YouTube channel. Just James Wappel YouTube. So it's basically a nice permanent location for all the VODs to go intact. Let's do some more glazing here. And we're just kind of focusing on that little ridge line on his back. Ooh, look at that. We got to do something there. We got to go back to our lighter gray. I'm not even thinking about it as silver or anything like that. I'm just literally thinking about it as a gray. All right, boom. That's good. I'm actually going to do a little bit of the brown liner get in here to make it even darker. So again, it's a metallic color, but I want to get some shading on his feet here. There we go. That's better. That's more like it. I think this one also is going to need it. Yeah. A deep, rich glaze with a color that is still metallic. I absolutely love this. Now, one of the things I wanted to do was perhaps I wanted to do my Ossiarch Bone Reapers as kind of metal. So I'm thinking of doing this with those guys too as one of my army painting series. So look what I'm doing here. You can see I'm starting to separate more here. Get some, look at this. Let me see if I can show you. See that little bit of a darker purple line there? I'm going to do it over here. Oh, look at that. There we go. But the nice thing is that is still metallic. I'm going to do it again. Do that again here. I can take some of it away if it's too thick. So I think you can see, yeah, see those little striations there? Again, done with metallic. But look at that. There's a nice glaze. Look at how that gets darker. I'm going to do the same over here. Boom. That gets dark. Oh, that gets darker. Yes, we're glazing in darks with metallic paint. Absolutely having a blast. Saving money because I don't need to buy any metallic paints. I need to get my metallic medium, but everything else becomes a metallic. It's just so hard to deny the power of that. Let's see. We can, with the metal medium, can you buff it up to a sheen? It's already got a whole lot of sheen. Believe me, this is with all my lights practically turned off. Let's do something like this. Boom. Now you can see there is a lot of sheen on that. It couldn't actually make it any shinier than this and still have any kind of color, really. So look at this. We're going even lighter with our yellow. Let's see. Calvedia, it's AK's metal medium. And here's, look at that. Can go even lighter here. Now, I think look at what just happened there. Look at what's happening. couple of lighter little dots here to indicate some scales. I'm going to do that here to indicate a few little extra lights of things. Let's see, your your mileage may vary with other metallic mediums. Yeah, like I said, the metal. Oh, and this one here, there are several. This went through several permutations. Now I don't know if I've still got it down here where it's easy to access, but I've got a container of this that has a 2018 date on it. That's it took them that long. It was almost a year and a half to get that right. The metal medium that's not the easiest thing to figure out, to say the least. Now we're going to get some lights back in here. What is it? Now that we did the darks, look at that. Now we can bring some of those lights back in. Same goes for this here. Each one behaves a bit different. That's what makes it fun. Yeah, well, once I also had the transparents, because I tried using the Green Stuff World candy inks, and those were interesting. Those were definitely interesting. I kind of preferred the Pro Acrylic transparents, since, well, they're also definitely less, what would you say, well, less shiny, as in shiny, like as in glossy. Now, what are we going to do here on these guys? We are going to, can you see that? Did I turn this thing off? Okay, yeah. Trying to make it so you can see it and I can still get the darn brush in there. But look at that. Look at that little touch of highlight right there. Look at how bright that is. And again, it's not just metal. It has a gold coloration to it. Some more here. And that's where you're starting to get some of that non-metallic metal in, even though it is metallic. It's already shiny, so it depends on what you're looking for. I know Peter and we were basically, I'm right here in the chair that I was, and I took the Vallejo metal medium, and I said, this is what I can do with this. And then I took their test jar, and I said, well, as Lady B calls out the host of the Rohirrim, we'll bring out the Rohirrim in just a second, but look at that. That is a non-metallic metal technique. So now I'm getting back to, what I'm normally used to doing. Look at that. Because of all the darks that we put there, we've set this up. Remember all those glazes that I was doing with that darker purple? So again, see how that just shifts the greens, the golds, shifting all over the place. But she has called out the hosts of the Rohirrim. So here, this is actually one of my first streams on Twitch. These were done in oils back in April. And I'll eventually be doing a probably YouTube video with these guys in it. And let's see. Well, and the host of the Rohirrim. Here's the rest of the host of the Rohirrim, because, well, we should do that. Where'd you guys go? Here we go. Boom, host of the Rohirrim. There they are. Muster the Rohirrim. That's another army painting series right there. Now we're back to our ice elemental, and we're going to find ourselves some. Actually, I'm going to go dark here first. A little more brown liner. I need some of that metal medium though to keep it from not being a metal, and then we shall glaze, and look at how dark that is. Look at that nice dark glaze right there. Look what else is going to happen right over here. Can you see that? I've got it tilted. Hopefully you can. We're going to go nice and dark right in here. Look at this. We just shaded that And look at how much darker this is. You can see that I just put it there on the palette. It's that much darker than all of these lighter golds we've been adding, so plenty of shading now. That's what you need if you're gonna have, if it's gonna look metallic, you've got to have this contrast of light and dark, and that is very hard to do. Yep, oh, Fenris Wolf. Oh, thank you very much, One Boot. That is appreciated. Now he has the all of the Galactica behind him now. So say we all. And we say we want darker striations here too. So again, that is my very dark color. Well, my very dark metal color. Then I mix it. So see those little stripes in there? We're going to put that over here too to accentuate our darks right here on these bits of the underside. Boom, like so. Then back to our extremely light gold. And we'll put a couple of, yeah, let's get a few highlights on the top of these guys here. Couple there. A little bit of reflected light down here. I need to get some of this darker metallic color right there. So here's again another darker glaze. You can really see it this time. Boy, you can see that. Look at that. So you can see the difference that just made there. It gave him that separation. Let's see, it's on lockdown, so I have plenty of time again till in the next month to finish building the rest of the blood letters for the Sigmar Corn, Copper, Bronze, White Army. Well, that should be very fun. That should definitely be fun. Now I'm gonna get, look at that. There's that same dark glaze happens there. Let's see if I can't sneak in a darker glaze here too. Boom, right there. Yeah. Now for some more separation there. It's just a couple of those, right? Just a few. Let's go to these coins here and let's think about darkening down. This is where you're really going to see. Here's that shield, right? Now you're really going to see how dark this is. But it's metallic. It's literally a metallic glaze. Boom, right there on that shield. Darkens that down. Then we grab our metal medium again and work the opposite way to pop in some more of our lights because we made things darker. And now we can make these guys lighter and they should show up some more. Yes, indeed. So I tried the metallics way back early in the day. And I mean, like 20 years ago when we first started. We didn't even know what non-metallic metals were. Now, as 2D artists, we painted those all the time. There. I'm going to get, again, a couple of these here. Let's take a little bit more of that. That's the transparent yellow from Pro Acryl. Just to bring out a little more gold here, and then I'm just almost going to go straight up metal medium in a few spots to go even lighter. It's almost kind of a white gold now. There, a couple of edges on the wings. Just cause I'm going to actually back out a bit so you can see more of him. Get more metal medium mixed with the yellow. See if we can't get some highlights on his back. We darken that down real nice. Now we've got to go the opposite way and pick out some scales here that are supposed to be lighter. Oh, and this too. We need the same sort of almost non-metallic metal effects. Here, so we're trying to highlight that edge a bit. There we go. Then another highlight on that edge. Yes, we're using metals, but we're thinking like non-metallic metals. We also need to get this a little darker, so we're going to grab some of this, basically a dark greenish gray metallic here. I mean, that is very dark. Oh, I'm just looking here. Posted a link in chat with a photo of one of them. And one boot said, it's funny, but the more I've done TMM, the more I'm realizing I need to learn NMM to make it work better. Well, here's one of the basic things. So we've got those, we put those lighter highlights in there. Well, we also need to have a dark to make that work. And this is where all the metal medium comes in, because what's the hardest thing to do with the metallics is to paint those darker colors, because they just don't exist. And now I'm going to see if I can't go even dark. Look at that. So again, that's still a metallic. It's just very dark. Now we've got ourselves some really nifty separation there. Look at that. Let's do another couple of our darker lines there. We got to do that here too. We got a whole panel of these right here. So that's our really dark blue purple metallic, as in like really dark blue purple metallic. Yeah, let's get the top of that. And now, just like we do if this was non-metallic metals, we need to get a little ridge of highlights right along here. So one there. And the reason this is so hard to do with your traditional metallic paints, making that really dark color that we had there, that's tough. Also, again, we've got another, this is sort of a greenish, got this greenish metal here. So it's not just lighter, it's also a different color. It's one that's reflecting this metal. That's why we're doing it green here. Can you... it's sort of blocked by the wings. Sorry about that. I need to get some of that same green down here. We're also going to maybe make it a little bit lighter in some areas, so that we can have some reflected light here. I think you can see that. Yep, there we go. So that is a very much a non-metallic metals thing, is having a reflection like that, reflecting other colors, reflected light. Typically something that you don't get when you're doing the non-metallic metals or the metallic stuff, but definitely something you see all the time with non-metallics. So again, we just threw in some more darks over here so that we can go back in later, bring in some more lights. Now I actually have to start thinking about some stuff that doesn't have metal in it, like these skulls here. There's some guy's arm that I didn't realize was there when I first was doing this. So we'll do that. We'll get some of our little skulls over here. There we go. And it's, again, not metallic. Now it's just regular. Just your regular paints. Gonna get a little touch of that pale green. Again, that's another Pro Acryl there. Be tough for you to see some of that orc skull there with that big old wing in the way. Does that mean where there's a wing, there's a way? Okay, now this last one. Some of the, yeah, a little more of that transparent brown. Make this a little bit more of a reddish color on this skull. Boom, there we go. That starts to stand out a little bit now. We've got a bow down here that also needs a little bit of attention. We'll hit those plants as well. And I'm just taking the pale green with the brown liner. It's making a nice little gray here. Gonna zoom in. It's a little easier for you to see it here. 1 second. Boom. There we go. Let's see. Fenris Wolf. I've done corn demons in white before. The shadows and muscle lines are shaded lilac purple. So super cold and alien-esque. I love the color scheme. Thanks. Actually, if you can send me like well, I know for whatever reason I've tried to get the whispers to not be like silenced or whatever, but send me a friend request, and then I can accept that, and then you can send me the link so that I can actually really check those out, because it's a little bit too difficult for me to be looking at stuff. Maybe if I can, well, have a third monitor or something like that, maybe I can do that. But it's a little bit too difficult right now for me to look at it just at this moment. But like I said, you can always shoot me that in a private message. Because it's fun to actually get a chance to really look at something. Whereas here, I would just be like taking a quick peek at it, and that's it. We've already done that a bunch of times. So again, we're just getting our little skeletons and bones in shape here. Some of these GW. Actually, most of these are GW, I think. I think most of the Green Stuff World skulls that I have left are pretty much the flaming ones, which are nifty, no doubt about that. Here, let's get a little more light on the underside of his jaw here. Maybe a little more light on this rock. Not quite sure exactly what this is here, but there you go. I'm thinking I'm not going to put a lot of greenery on this either. Just, I mean, it looks, well, maybe some kind of more dead type foliage, maybe some leaves, whatever. Yeah, I'll throw some of that on there. Okay. I'm going to take some orange. Mix a little bit with the brown here, and I'm looking to do some stuff inside that treasure chest. Like so. Now a little lighter. Just to give the impression of some kind of wood grain / whatever. And I've got what's left of the maiden flesh that we used early on. Oh, actually, gonna take some of this purple here, mix it with that green, and do some kind of gemstone thing here. Because it looks like there's a few, yeah. Let's make that a bit lighter now. Again, that with the transparent purple, it'll tint that real nice. I was tempted to maybe do some kind of red there, but then I thought, no, that's not really. We don't have much of that in the dragon itself. Now, speaking of the dragon here, I'm going to, I think, use this on his tongue, maybe. Now, I need to get my reference over here. 1 second. Like this. Let's lighten that up a touch again with our pale green. So it makes it sort almost more of a grayish purple, not such a bright purple. That's better. Get this side over here. And then I might even actually mix metal medium with that and see where that metallic greenish purple could be used once I've got the tongue out of the way here. Oh, let me see. I was using bloodletters as practice for painting white. Can't share. They're old pics that I lost. The trick is to use off-white, not pure white. Yeah, I only ever use the off-whites, like that off-white green, that pale green, the maiden flesh. You very rarely, if ever, see me use white at all, actually. And I mean very, very rarely. Back to our, again, our metal medium, mixing it with that yellow here. Getting myself a few bright lights, especially on the teeth, I would think. The one thing that's always going to happen, though, with the metallics is they're always going to be thicker than regular paint. It's the nature of the beast, quite literally. When you're using the metallics, they're going to be thicker. Is what it is. So there's some of our lighter tone. I'm going to see if I can't get myself a little touch lighter here. And then go back to that darker glaze color that's still over here. There we go. Maybe even a little more. Touch of that brown lighter. So now it's even darker, but yet still a metallic because of the metal medium. We'll get ourselves some nice rich darks right in that area where they are definitely needed. Also need to get, it's going to be blocked a little bit by that wing, but I'm just shooting some dark in here for more, get more contrast. There we go. Let's see what happens. I'm going to zoom out and then boom. Take away some of that color so we can still see we've got our shading here. We still got our shiny. But as we bring back that color, like you do, boom. You can see all those purples and greens. Well, thanks again, Grusis. Appreciate you dropping in and checking it out. I will see you next time. And One Boot asked, do you use water to thin your metallics or a different medium? It's just simple water. That's all it is. That's basically, I don't use any kind of flow improver or any of those type of things. I keep it just real simple, straight up water. And Gunzilla, hey, how are you doing? Let's see. Well, thanks for joining me here. We're just having a lot of fun using the metal medium here, turning basically every color that I have into a metal color, which is letting me do all kinds of fun shading, some color shifting. I'm gonna get some more of my dark here, and this is the thing that's just so difficult to do with metallics, and that is get yourself some darks, but they're still metallic, like right here. I'm gonna get just a couple of darks right there. See, a couple little dark striations in there, but they're still metallic. I think we were able to get a nice juicy set of metals down in there and some darks. I see. I need some more in between the spines on his back. Oh yeah, for sure. That should make a big difference. And you can see we got some of that greenish color there on his chest to sort of reflect what's going on here with the ground. We're also going to get some more of this dark here onto our coins, followed by some of this very light gold color here. I think you can see what I'm doing there. So focusing mostly just on that one edge. So all these coins, they have some reds on them. Here, let's actually use a little bit of that Green Stuff World red. It's basically a red gold. Just going to hit a few of these coins, and then also on him. Over here. I'm going to do a little bit more of that now. I don't want to do too much because, again, it'll make him look almost more like a copper dragon instead of a gold dragon. We don't want that, but we also want to get some. So this will be a nice little contrast to some of the greens that we put in some places here. So look what we got there. See that little bit of a red striation right there? So you can use regular metallic paints to it. I'm not saying you can't. I've kind of found a very specific place where they're going to work. See a couple more of those red ones in there. Going to do the same thing in here. Boom, like that. So again, we got even more shift going on in there. Oh, Oliver Ghost, how are you doing? Let's see. Patreon for all. James is a Patreon for as little as $1. You can get perks at high levels. You can get minis that he's painted. Check it out via the link on the screen. And Lady B is definitely not a bot. She is definitely Lady B, human from the land down under. Been grinding out my first competition entry in the past week. Enjoying taking a break and watch somebody else paint for a change. That's kind of what I said when I first discovered Twitch. I said, wait a minute. I can watch other people. It's not always just me watching me. So yeah, the Patreon page, the kind of the one level to rule them all is usually the Army Painter pledge level. Because when you do that, well, you get buried in links to about 500 hours of videos. And that's not a joke. That's a real thing. Because, as I'll just take you through some of the Army Painting series. Oh, and there's tons of them. You've got things like Harad. You saw the Rohan earlier. This is one of my latest series right here. And here's another army painting series. I've got a ton of Song of Ice and Fire stuff. So it's all about units. This is another, we're going to be doing a series on the horses. It all starts with basing. Oh, let's see, where's my, 1 second here. I'm looking for my cipher bases. There we go. So that's how each series begins, with bases like that. And there's another army painting series again, the Necrons. Oh, and you like terrain? I like terrain. That's my latest terrain video, showing how to make that, or how to paint that big old tower. Oh, and the dark sword painting level. So let's look at some dark sword miniatures. These are all painted in Patreon videos. See that figure on the left-hand side? The guy with the sword, Jaime Lannister, that was done in TMM just like this. And that figure towards the back, that was actually done with the Turbo Dark paints to try and do some more of that sort of color shifting type stuff. Now, here's what's going to happen. We are going to mix. Wow, look at this. Oh my goodness. So that is a green stuff world, kind of a reddish gold, and I just mixed, wow, some of the transparent yellow with that. That's an intense orange. I'm going to throw just a little bit of metal medium to make sure it stays orange. Which the heck one was? Oh, it was this one here. It was their Caesar red. Oh, and I'm just looking here. A little conversation back and forth. Let's add some orange to this, especially on the back here. Wow. Look at how intense. Look at how intense. See that? Look what I just put there. We're gonna do some more of this. Again, putting metal medium in there just to make sure that it stays metallic. But wow, they don't make gold like that. That is an intense orange there. So I'm gonna put it over here too. Gonna put some of it over here on his wings. Bam. I'm adding some metal medium just to make sure it stays metallic. But you can see we're taking, in some cases, just straight up metallic colors and just altering it. Look at that. Look at all of those. That's all different shades of metallic paint, different colors of metallic paint. Let's see, this is a dragon. It doesn't matter, actually, one boot. You get all of the. That's why there's 500 hours of tutorials, or 500 hours of tutorials, because you get every single tutorial that I've made for the last 7 years. When you do the Army Painting Pledge level, you get every single video that's been done over the last 7 years. Could be 7 years of bad luck, I don't know. But it's 7 years of intense recording work, that's for sure. And the reason why is that you need to know. You need to have all of that information, because if you had all of the other previous videos and you're watching this, you would have already seen me potentially doing this technique several times. This is just the largest application that I've ever done. This is by far the most complex, even though I did an army painting series with the gold, or with the metallics and the metal medium. This guy right here, this is the most complex single thing I've ever done with it, for sure. Ah, look at that. Look at what that does. Man. Yeah. Ah, the 100, would you pick the Dark Sword Mini? This is, actually, this one's already, it's the July miniature, but it gets claimed by seniority. So actually, we have someone watching here who already has the $100 one. That'll be this, but not to fear, because, well, there are several other dragons. This is just one of them. But all of those other Dark Sword miniatures that you saw, so all of these went to people. I never have any Dark Sword minis to keep for myself because these are all part of the pledge level there, the Dark Sword pledge level. Here we go. But yeah, I will be doing more of these dragons, and actually I'll be doing more of those Draconid style figures. For sure. Look at that. There we go. But I think, yeah, this one is still, well, it's still June, right? It's June 30th. What is it? Today is Tuesday, right? So I'll be filming another Dark Sword video this week. Well, probably one or two, as the case might be. Well, let's get some of this over here, too. We got the green here. Let's get some of this really nice orange color. Can you see it? Look at the effect that's going to have right there. Oh, wow. Huge effect right there because we got that darker color in. We've got sort of a lighter pale gold here. But now we've got that orange going over there. Oh, sure. No problem, One Boot. No problem. Nope. I'm going to save the orange color for the top. For the top here. So now we got some orange going right up next to that purple there. Let's get a little bit of that on the leading edge of the wing. Some more of that back here. Let's get some of it on his arms too, and perhaps even a little more metal medium to lighten it. Yep, that touch of metal medium, just lighten that up a bit. I'm just looking for a place to put my finger. There we go. Okay, now, because you can see on the reference over there, that's the one thing I was missing, was a really intense, almost an orange type color. And actually what it took was mixing this red metallic from Green Stuff World with, look at that. Bam. Check that out. I will take just a pinch of that here. Look at this. This is something I would normally do with my non-metallic metal painting. I just a little dot of that orange there. So that is the T in TMM. Getting some reflections and some of these bright sparkling colors here. You know, I am going to put some of this. A few. Ooh, that's it. That is the surface that I need it right there. Look at that. You can really see it because it's sitting on top of green right now, so it should be standing out. So see, we just tinted our green to be a little bit more yellow, more orange. We are going to do the same on these wings, or this wing. He only has two. I'll hit that. Gonna throw a couple of these, just a few. That's good enough. Don't want to do any more than that. I think he needs some of this on his face. So again, some metal medium to keep that light enough. I'm gonna zoom in here too. 1 second. Poof. And I will get myself some of this orange up on his face. He's got plenty of greenish colors there. Let's see. Oliver Ghost asks, how would you compare the Pro Acrylic metal medium to the Vallejo one? it is very comparable. And like I said, this is I have 6 jars of this here because again, this is what I would have used to teach my Adepticon class, and this basically what I'm doing here. It's what I was going to teach in there. These are very similar now. This one maybe it might have a slightly broader range. Price-wise, though, I think this one might still win on price, though, because you got the larger container and the smaller price tag than the Vallejo stuff. Oh my gosh, I'm just looking over at that palette of all those intense metallic color. Look at this. We've got red in that wing, purple, greens. Now some more of our orange here. Drop a little more here. Some more on the edge of that wing. So you can see all of these different, look at the undulations we have in the wing. Lighter, darker, a little more green. More towards the red, more towards the orange. I'll turn it this way because I want you to see, look at all those little nifty dots there of our orange color. More of that metal medium. It does make it lighter too. Interesting. It should. This I'm also going to lighten up a bit. Let's see what I can get here. So I've got all that, again, that green there. I don't want to lose that. I'm going to try and put on these spines. Let's see. Gridlock Sis has to take off. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, well, the sun is 4:21 here, so I'm guessing that in about 10 minutes or so, the sun is going to sort of start coming up here. This is it's shiny, but look at all those colors in there. So it's like a color shifting dragon. Well, he's gold. He's a gold dragon. He really should color shift when you think about it. I mean, he sort of is in that reference picture, which is covered up by my camera controls. Not anymore. I'm going to take even less of this here. Wow. Okay, so now I've got this super light orange that I can work with, I think. Get that here on his... Let's get some lighter tones on his head. And something that's got a little bit more color to it also, like this orange here. Oh, like that. Is there enough shading on his legs? That is the next. Ooh, and I did this on the other side. I'm going to do that same, a little bit of the, yep. Oh, look at that. Now I've got some, it's like non-metallic, but it's got that hint of, it's got all the metallic color, all the metallic shininess that you would want. I might even go a little bit more with the metal medium here. Let's see. In Germany, it's the other way. Vallejo is much cheaper than Proakill. Well, I would imagine because, well, the Vallejo stuff made in Spain, right? And I'm sure it's the same issue there that it is here. It was really, really tough for me to get the Vallejo paints because any of the stores that got them, they were on some kind of like 6-month or 9-month cycle. So if they were out of something that was Vallejo, they were going to be out of it for months and months and months. Now, that's the other reason why I started using the GW stuff, and that's the next thing actually that I haven't tried yet, is to take contrast paints and mix them with the metal medium. So that's probably going to be, who knows, maybe I do it in the next dragon. You know, if it's a bronze dragon or a copper dragon or whatever, maybe that's something that I try on the next video, where I'll take the GW stuff, because you can get that stuff. If there's anything that's going to be, gosh, and I hate to even use the word universal, it would be the GW stuff. So again, that is a darker glaze, but yet still a metallic. It is still a metallic because it's got metal medium in it, which we're going to utilize over here. So I need to have light on that side. So this is our dark. This has to be lighter over here. And not just lighter. I think it's going to have to be more greenish. Which means I'm going to take some of that blue. Going to mix it with that transparent yellow. There's my green. And look, it's a very intense green. Oh, that is an intense green. That's remember we used that very early on. I think Lady B might have been here when I was doing that. Oh, Carlos is... Hey, Carlos, how you doing? Let's see. The GBU is king of the high price everywhere. Yeah. $8 a jar. Well, so we basically... This is a unit of currency, is how many jars of contrast paint does something cost. Let's see. In terms of results, the Pro Acrylic to Vallejo ones, the metal medium, I've found they're pretty much about equal. They're pretty much about equal. Now, actually, you can go back and, well, anyone that's, I think I've got, yeah, there's on the YouTube channel, there are videos of me doing stuff like this with the Vallejo metal medium. They're on the older side, but they're definitely there. And I'll do some more videos or live sessions or whatever, trying the Vallejo one too, so that we can, or you can really see it. To me, they're pretty comparable. And I'm really loving this green. I'm really loving that. So look what we got. Look at that separation there. So here you got that orange color, the bright orange. Then we got our purple, dark purple metallic. And now look at what we just got here. We got that green. This is what gives you the TMM. You could have just kept slapping some, oh geez, more yellow or more of whatever, shining gold, whatever the heck the metal paints are, but you can't do this. Look what I just added there. See that green? I'll tilt it this way. You can see this. This is a very light, very intense green. Check that out. And then we're going to go back to our very bright yellow gold. Again, not a gold color you're going to ever get anywhere. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Unbelievable. So yeah, I would say if it's easier for you to get the Vallejo version, you have no problems using that. That should be just fine. It's really more the stuff that I'm mixing with it. The Pro Acryl having the transparency, because they are very intense and transparent. But like I said, you could, in theory, mix. Well, heck, you could probably mix what the Badger Ghost Tints with them. Actually, you could probably mix the Badger Ghost Tints with it and shoot it through an airbrush. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna get this same green. Again, this is a bright green here. It's gonna go right there, boom, on his tail. Like that. Yeah, check that out. A little more of that bright green down here. Like you do. Do we need to do so? Yeah. We need some of that over here too. So again, that's the really bright green that I made. Godzilla is back. Let's see. Carlos has Pro Acrylic in Portugal. Can't find. Well, now actually, you should be able to find Green Stuff World. Now this Caesar Red is right over here on the palette. Boom, right there. And you can, like I said, I'm going to try to see, because basically these I interchange with Reaper Clears, with the Pro Acrylic Transparent. So that's kind of these three different things. Oh, and Green Stuff World Intensity Inks. Where the heck are they? Where are those Intensity Inks? Ah, here we go. Let me see if I can... Yeah. So you could conceivably do the same thing with this. I know because I've done it. So you could take this Optimus Black, mix it with that metal medium, and then you would have a very dark black metal. Oh yeah, the shipping, well, and it's, I believe it's going to get worse. Like, a lot worse. So I always try to find equivalents for people. Oh, look at this. I just added that green right there. So again, we're getting that non-metallic metal look. But yet, here we go. We're going to add some of this bright green down here, just like we've done before. So look at that. There, you can see that green now. I want to get me some more of that on this part of his wing. And under here. And then, so we put the yellow over there. Now we're going to get a little touch of this. See those little dots that we just put there? Look at that. Now you can see them. That is your metal, or your non-metallic metal effect at work right there. Those are the kind of sparkly things you've got to have if you want to have basically a non-metallic look. But it's done with metallics. Let's see if I can't get him an eye over here. There we go. Gonna darken some of that down even more. Like so. Let's see if we can do a similar thing now on the other side. Get some more of that. Again, that's transparent purple. I think Shyish purple is something that I used as a GW equivalent for that. Okay, we got him an eye now. Or at least some kind of pupil. Also going to, again, take some of that metal medium, mix it with that purple, and then I'm going to try and do another little glaze in here because we need a touch of dark in there. I don't need it so much on this side. I already kind of have that pretty well set here. Some more dark in here. I am going to give me something to drink in a second. 1 second here. So sorry about that. Let's see. One boot asks, how many hours have you put into this? Let me see. We started this 2 hours and 14 minutes ago, and it had that much paint on it. That's what we're looking at, from this to this in 2 hours 14 minutes. Let's put it this way. It took me more time to assemble this thing, because this is all metal. More time to assemble this and to do this diorama base and prime it than it has to paint it. And, well, that is, well, take a look at some of these. Again, well, each of these, so imagine each of these figures here, roughly, each of those videos is between 2 and 2.5 hours long, each figure. And that's painting the whole figure. Again, each of these, now that Draco guy, that was a little bit longer because, well, he's kind of big. But all of those Dark Sword figures, again, the videos are roughly about between 2 and 2.5 hours long. And now we've got, let's see. So I'll just take it again through some of the, here, let's get some of our, oh, actually, this is another, this is one of my, if you haven't seen this yet, this was the oil painting thing that I did on the Twitch channel last month. That was very fun. And actually, here's another example. I love me my object source lighting. Oh, thanks, Oliver. But here's some of the, again, there's all of those guys. That was roundabout, let's see, 5 episodes, 10 hours, about 14 hours or so of video to cover those guys. It covers the basing, it covers everything. Let's see if I could pull it off like that. I would be too. Zen for one. Actually, boy, we actually get to talk. Well, I get to talk at you, but instead of just the usual "Hey, how are ya?" from me. So, welcome in. How have you been doing? Well, since we last saw each other or talked to each other. I'm gonna get some more darks back here. Yep. And I want to do that here too. Whoops. Also going to add a little bit more of my brown liner to that. Again, keeping some kind of the metal medium mixed in so it stays somewhat metallic. I am going to double down on this to make that even darker. I'm also going to get a couple of darks here on those fins. Back to the brown and the purple. Again, got to put a little bit of metal medium in there, otherwise it's not going to be metallic. Now we'll just bring out a couple of darks back here. Like that. We'll do the same over here now. Like you do. Like this. And we're going to get some right along here too. Just looking here. Zen for one. Getting ready to head off to work. I like the PA metallic medium mixed with inks for the last coat of Molly's Saber armor. Yeah, I've got to actually... The other thing I have to test next is I've done these with the Reaper Clears. I've done them with the Transparents. I've mixed them with the Green Stuff World Candy inks and Intensity inks. Next experiment is to mix them with the contrast paints and see what happens there. Again, just looking for some more darks here, like you do. So look at all of the greens and golds and oranges and such in there. Now, oh yeah, here's my, again, that orange that I made. I really love that. I just gotta freaking remember all this stuff. Because it's usually so long before I get to, in between times where I get to try using the metals and such. Wow, look at that. That is a nice little, we're tinting it. But we're tinting it with a metallic color. That is so much fun. Like I can still see some of that original purple that I put there a couple of hours ago. That is still there. Back to that brighter green, which is going to go down into here. couple of scales, couple of lines there. Little metal medium, make it brighter. Let's see, the Prochrometallic medium mixed with the inks for the coat of mount. Yeah, it's the, to me, it's interchangeable with the, I almost said Liquitex, with the Vallejo metal medium. It's just, I've done more stuff with the Vallejo metal medium because it's just been around longer. I've been using that stuff since 2013, I think. I want to get a couple of shots of green onto those. Oh, and back here too. Yes, yes. Right there. And here too. So you could use the Turbo Dork stuff, if you want to get the color shifting stuff going on. There's no reason why you shouldn't do that too. But to me, it's way too hard to shade anything with it. Here I can get all the shading that I want. Let's get a little more green here. Some reason for all of the green to be in the on the dragon itself. Now again, there's no metal medium here, so we're not going to have a metallic look there. But we are going to lighten up a few of these. Still, I don't know if, I think that's supposed to be a rock. I think it is supposed to be a rock and not some kind of a tree. At first I thought it was a tree because of the way it was shaped. Okay, I'm just gonna, I want this side to have a little more of a warm look to it. So I'm just gonna throw some more of my, that's a maiden flesh there from Reaper. I'll throw some of that right over here. Boom. Oh, and this is the other thing I mixed with the metal medium too, is fluorescent paints. Did that on the Necrons. That was fun. That was definitely fun. I really enjoyed the heck out of that. Oh man, no, I actually need to go with green over here because we've got the bone colors. So sticking with a little bit of green over here. And get some of that into my skulls. I don't want to lose all the darks that I've got also too on this rock. It's going to makes the dragon stand out a little bit more too. Of course. Some more here. Almost got a little bit of a bluish tone because of the green that we threw in there. And I'm going to get some more lights here on our treasure chest. The wood, yeah, just a little bit of that. Some of that here. And we need some separation from the landscape itself. Like I said, I'm going to deal with the foliage at another point during the day before I take some photos of this. I think this will probably be my next Instagram post. And again, you can check out other stuff on my Instagram page there. It's right there on the screen. It's also linked to the home page of my Twitch channel here. And like I said, the Patreon page has tons and tons of tutorials. You can even just do the Dark Sword pledge if you want. That's $10 a month. That's still going to get you hundreds of hours of tutorials. Let's see if I can go a little touch lighter on some of my foliage out here. Ah, that's nice. Do I have a little bundle of this? I think it's going to be very hard for me to reach. Yeah, it's going to be a little difficult to reach. But I have lots and lots of basing videos on the Patreon page. Literally dozens of them. Actually, more like scores instead of dozens. Because I love basing. I think you can tell. It's so much fun. It adds so much to this. Having all of this fun extra, the foliage and everything here. Look at all that. Gonna go back to my, actually a little bit of the purple mixed into that, because purple and green, what does it make? It makes gray, and we don't mind having a little gray here. The coins, again, were just green stuff rolled into a long cylinder, let it cure overnight, and then I just chopped it into little pieces. These little tiny pieces like this to make, make those coins. Let's get some lighter tones in my rocks over here. Just kind of missing that a bit. There's some more. Oh, I think I could use some. Heck, I could even take some weathering powders and go into the crevices there, but I'm going to probably go with some dead leaves, throw those in there. Let's get a little more shading back here, shall we? Like that. Believe it or not, that is just bulletin board cork. That's primarily what that all is. I don't know if you guys caught one of my last sessions, but where did you go? Here we go. So this is what I did on one of my last sets, speaking of basing. So this was for my new Sisters of Battle tutorial series. Doing some fun freehand on that little base right there. Now, while I'm thinking about it, again, I've got a couple of these coins here that little orphan coins, and gonna make some of those be nice and orange. So we have some of these coins have a little bit of greenish look. Now we're gonna give them a nice orange glue. Let's get some of the coins on this side over here where you can see them.
Who enters my domain?
We have a Drax sighting. We've got Drax. Hey Drax, how are you doing? And we have a Techno Cat, so be sure to give Drax and Techno Cat follows. You need to do that. Because Drax, it's always very fun because you get multiple. You don't just get Drax, you get a whole bunch of fun chatter in this Discord. So it's really a blast to check that out. It's like you're almost listening to a podcast every day, but it's all very spontaneous. So give Drax a follow for sure. Welcome him in. And welcome his raiders that he's bringing along. And Karu, how are you doing? Geez, I had already kind of come up here to try and get this all ready to go. I think before I actually, Drax must have started then, like at 2 o'clock in the morning or something. Hey Drax, how are you doing? So this is a little bit different here. We've been taking the metal, with the metallic medium from Pro Acryl, mixing it with a lot of the different transparent paints, and we've been doing some TMM on this. So you can see we got oranges. Look at that. You've got some greens. You got some pinks, some purples. You can see some of the greens here on the bottom, some of the blues. Again, doing the whole TMM thing on this. The usual PM. And Drax now. I think it's either 12 minutes from now or an hour and 12 minutes from now, the very first resin print is supposed to be done. I have no idea. I started it up at, I don't know, 1 o'clock in the morning, something like that. Like 5 after 1 in the morning, and it was supposed to take 5 hours. So, I think. I have no idea. So, it could be a horrible thing. It may not work at all. Now we got Rumble in the house too. How are you doing? And Venom is pinned. So well, there's no missing parts now. Venom is pinned. I guess, well, you'll be the most relieved person in the world to see Spidey and Venom all together and done. Because there's been some like chicken and egg type things. Because didn't you say that with him? It's like, well, okay, if I do this, well, then how am I going to do this? And I know you were kind of coming up with some solutions there along the way to some of those chicken and egg problems. Engineering issues, yes indeed. Well, how heavy was he? I mean, he was one heavy bugger. So again, this is if you're wondering where the metal medium is on the palette, that's up here. Now I'm going to take this away from there. And you look at all those, see those purples and greens, see that orange, all of that stuff is all metallic there. That red, that's actually a metallic red. It's a metallic green. And that bright stuff there, that is the metal medium. But the nice thing is, see this dark color here? That's metallic. You see that dark color there? That's metallic. All of the dark colors in here, look at this. So see how it's kind of your gold color there, then it's dark, and then it's actually a green over there. All of that is metallic. Things not foreseen when I was dry fitting, and that is, oh my gosh. There's been times where people said, well, didn't you dry fit it? And I said, heck yeah. And then after I painted it, it all freaking changed. And nothing fit the way it was supposed to. So there's that orange stuff again. I think I'm going to zoom this out so people can get a little bit more of the context. There it is. So see that? You can see that red right there, and then see there's green right next to it. Look how it color shifts. There is no color shift on there. Oh geez, they clipped each other. Holy smoke. That sounded more and more and more nightmarish. Now again, if I'm going to do this dark stuff, I gotta still get metal medium in there. So this is a very dark, almost brownish purple here. And I can go even darker. This is basically a glaze of metallic dark paint. When did you think you could ever do something like that? I sure as heck didn't think you could. And for the new folks, this is where it's kind of employed on a more massive scale, or mass scale. So Necrons, TMM, object source lighting. Yes, they are. Because normally you can't do object source lighting and metallic paints. If you do, what's going to happen? Your object source lighting not going to be metal. But I was actually mixing stuff like the fluorescent green with those metallic paints. That was able to get me that sort of object source lighting effect, which you can see here. I just took, again, the Pro Acrylic transparents and such, mixed them with even that green. See all of that, the markings on them? That's actually metallic paints too. So look at the two different color palettes here. But yet you still have all of that kind of color shifting going on. Let me just get this guy out of the way here 1 second. There. Back to my dark again. And right here is, I'm looking to do a whole line of dark along here. Still metal, but dark. And You can see we got the green here. We've got more of our gold color up there. Let's continue this all along here and up here. Some right along here. Gonna go back to my orange-ish with more of the metal medium to make it lighter. That's the other thing too. And I might actually need a fresh palette to show that at this point. But for the folks earlier got to see that, but I want the new folks to be able to see that too. So I'm going to just throw some more metal medium out here just to have it. There we go. Gonna grab me a brush here. Get the palette where you can see it. So we got metal medium here, right? Let's take some of the purple. So look at that deep, rich purple, but yet metallic. But look what happens as we add more metallic to it. Look at how it gets lighter and lighter. And now this has actually a little bit of yellow in it, so it's changing color. So look at how light that can get. Started here. This is the thing you can't do at metals or metallic paints. You cannot get that kind of light and dark. Those extreme darks, the extreme lights, you just can't do it. They're not meant. They don't work that way. That is why I love my metal medium, because I can do stuff like that. Again, get that purple in here. Let's see. Lady B laughed. Oh, thanks again, Zen for One, for joining. I'll catch you, well, probably later today on somebody's stream. Oh, we need to do this. Look at this. How did I not see this over here? So again, we're taking our dark purple here. So thanks again for joining, Zen for One. I will catch you later. Same principle. Again, gotta keep enough metal medium in there so that it stays metallic. But because I've done that, I've got this nice dark right here that I can use. Then back to this orangey yellow color, because we got that green on the one side. Now it's not quite as heavy of a dot. That's gonna say bright shining gold there. We make it even lighter now with some of our metal medium. Like that. And oh yeah, boy, you can really see that color shift. So here I'm gonna get some of my orangey color on some of these spikes or spines or whatever those are. Then that's got to be green. So here's my bright green over here that I've got. Get rid of some of the extra there. And then, boom, some green under there. So, there now we have our dark color there. Now we've got our, not just a lighter color under there, but green to basically show it's reflecting the bluish rocks here. I need some more of this greenish tone. I want to work some of it into his face as well. Like right there, say under his eye, I just hit some. Gonna work a few bands of it here on the underside of his wing. Like so. Yeah. So again, we're gonna put some of that under here too. Using a little more of the metal medium to lighten it up, because that's kind of important. And just a few of those there on his, again, on his foot, Little reflected light there. We're going to sneak some in over here too. Let's get some on his legs. Might even throw a few touches of green on his pieces of gold here.
Hello, little hobbits. Spark my ganja.
Oh, thank you so much for the follow, Ritual Casting. I appreciate it. And so does Gandalf, obviously. Now this is almost straight up metal medium. This is effectively your white here. This is as light as you're going to get. And I have tried mixing something like a bold titanium white with it to make it even lighter. It does not work. You're best off just leaving the metal medium be your lightest color. Oh, thanks, Ritual Casting. This has been a real fun time because I've done this kind of mixing of the metal medium and the regular paints before, but not on something like that. This is a really different type of a subject here, and this has been very fun. And you can see you're really getting kind of, look at all that color shifting stuff, but again, no color shifting paint required. And one of the reasons it has shape is because unlike those color shifting paints, we can get all the shading we want. Look at that.
Who enters my domain?
Well, look at that. Aaron J. Bang, another person you need to give a follow to because he is just, well, of course, he just completed his session, and we'll welcome in those raiders. We'll probably do a little bit of a review for him too. XL809, Barry Boy 78, welcome in. I'm just going to welcome in everybody here and let folks know what it is we've got going on. So we're working, where's my metal medium?
Hello, little hobbits. Spark my ganja.
Oh, thank you for the follow, Reefaholic. So what we've been doing is taking this metal medium here. This is Pro Acryl. We've been mixing it with regular, well, sort of regular paint. Things like transparent orange, transparent brown, transparent purple, like this. And it's been making all of these different metallic colors. So see, you can see how that's metallic, but look at the shifting there. And see, you got orange, you almost got a red, you got a little bit of green, and look at how my finger is reflecting on that. So that's all metal, but it's more of a true metallic metal. You can see that happen here, where we've got some greenish color here. We've got some of our orange gold over here. Thank you. Thanks again, Aaron. So hopefully you were able to get a lot accomplished on your stream there, and hopefully not too tired. But thanks for the raid. And again, folks, well, I'm sure all of you are following Aaron, but if you're not, be sure to give him a follow. And yeah, we're just enjoying here. This is a dark sword worm, I guess, like a baby dragon, right? That's what they call the baby dragons.
Hello, little hobbits. Spark my ganja.
Thank you so much for the follow, Gavelin. Now, the treasure chest here, that's from Reaper Miniatures. The coins here, it was quite literally leftover green stuff that I rolled into a cylinder, like a long cylinder, maybe a couple inches long, and then just chopped them into these coins. Now, I'm just as a review here for folks that haven't had a chance to see this, we're going to do this again. So again, we got metal medium here. You could use the Vallejo version too. That's sitting over here. So that's your metal medium there. And we've got stuff like, I'm going to throw out some more of this purple, this transparent purple here, just so you can see. This is just a good demonstration of how this works. All right, so we're going to take some of this purple here, okay, throw it over here so you can see how dark that is. Take some of this metal medium here. You can see that's still relatively dark, but you can see it's metallic now. Look what happens when we add some more of this. See how it gets lighter? and then it gets lighter, and it gets even lighter. So all of those purples that we made, 2 colors, which is why, I mean, you can see we got green over here. Look at this on the palette. That's a bright metallic green. That's a bright metallic orange. Look at how bright that yellow is. That's a yellow gold. They don't sell any gold that's that bright. They just don't. And this is all of this is metallic down here. That's what makes TMM so difficult. And for the new folks here, you can see an example of TMM and a little bit more of a mass usage. TMM again, metal medium, in this case mixing it with fluorescent paints. With the Sanctum Basilicus for Games Workshop. Sisters of Battle, a ruined church, basically. There we go. That's very cool. Well, I'll have to check you out. Hopefully, I'll be able to watch you tomorrow night. I don't think I'll be streaming, so I think I'll be able to watch you. Now, again, you can see all of that. See the purples and reds, even greens, all that stuff at work. You can see, again, see how that rotate that around. You can see the orange in there. There's a little bit of red. You can see the greens right in there. And look at, again, how shiny that all is.
Hello, little hobbits. Spark my ganja.
Thank you for the kind words and the follow, Belly Boy. It is appreciated. Berry Boy, not Belly Boy. What am I talking about? Sorry. It's 5 o'clock in the morning here. So now here, let's take some of that brightest. That's some of our very brightest yellow gold. That's going to go here. That's going to go here. Actually, speaking of sisters, just paint and talk nonsense all night long. Now, I'm actually doing my newest army painting series is on Sisters of Battle. I'm basically reprising this old color scheme right here, some of my greens and golds. And we've got our, where is my color test figure here? And here we go. So this is actually one of the bases that I was working on. This is part of my episode 1, the basing tutorial. So she's flying around here. If you check out on the blog, you can see the old Sisters army there in all its glory. Now, this is the thing I've been trying to show people, and I'll do this again here. So we want to have some darker colors, right? So there's that purple. Look at that. We're going to mix some orange into that. We now have sort of an interesting dark color. Look at that. It's still metallic, though. I mean, look at how shiny it is. The reason that palette is shiny because it's all metallic paint. We just made a new one. And we're going to use that right here. And look at what I just did. I just shaded with metallics. Oh, thanks, Gunzilla. Now, I'll show you my Cypher Lord's bases and some of the Dol Amroth stuff too. Oh, look at that. So look at what that just did there on those spines. Gave a nice dark color. Here, let's do some more of that on this side. Even here, yeah, let's get some of this on the underside of his face too. And we'll continue some of that into here, yes. So my Cypher Lord's bases, where are those? Let's find those. And that was, I think it was Army Painting Series, yeah, 14. So there you go. The same principle was also applied here on the Dol Amroth Army bases. You can see that same marble effect there. And then as we go back to our sisters, let's find some that have some, here we go. So again, some more of the, it's a very simple freehand thing. It's really not all that difficult. I think we've got another one over here that kind of shows that. Yep, There we go, with the also little object source lighting too. So yeah, that's kind of a typical exercise there for me. I love basing, can't get enough of it. Now you can see we want to get a little bit of our green into that too. We've got all the other stuff, but none of our green. Also going to get some of that onto that mace. Just on this side of it, because there wasn't a whole lot back there. Now we got a little something going on. Let's make this side. There we go. That's our basically straight up metal medium there. This has to be darker. What are we going to do? We're going to take some of our dark color here. Again, that's a dark metal. So now that's going to give us a bit of that, again, true metallic metal. Put some more of it right here. Get that a little bit more blended. Oh, let me see. Right on, right on stream. Usually I tend to talk to myself. Let's see. There is no issue from what I can tell. The sponsor blog, let alone an Instagram account. Oh, I did a little bit of conversation there. And Aaron asks, have you used much of the Scale 75 metal in alchemy? I actually haven't really tried many Scale 75 paints at all. I think I've maybe tried 3 or 4, period. I think because, well, I use so much of the Reaper paints. I use a lot of the Green Stuff World paint, and obviously a lot of the Pro Acryls too. Well, and then oils, of course, which doesn't leave time for trying too many other paints. I'm actually going to try and do this in oils as well, because I've got, here it is. So the oil, there is oil brushers. That's the aluminum there. I'm going to try and see if I can mix that with oil paints to do the same kind of thing that we're doing here. Because I mean, oil paints, they've got a lot of intensity to them. So I'm thinking it could work the way it's worked here. Now I'm going to get some more light highlights here. We've added the middle tones. We've added some of the dark. See those couple little bright dots there, or a couple little tiny brush strokes of light. A little bit of that out here. This is lighter than any gold paint you could ever possibly get. And we're going to add a couple of dots of that lighter gold in there. I think you could see those. Oh, let me see. A mumbly stream. Couple more bright dots there. Oh, let's get some. I still could never figure out what those were. Those are ears, or what the heck those are supposed to be on them. So I just don't call them anything. This could use a little bit of lighter tone on it there. Now, do we need to get any more darks in here? I will get some more of my green on the coins over here just to have some more difference. Oh geez, these guys never really did get anything. I'm gonna get some of my orange on those too. Again, the coins, very simple, just rolled up some green stuff, let it cure overnight, and then chop it up. That's all it took. Pretty much using straight up metal medium over here to get a few highlights on the metal trim on the outside of this thing. On this treasure chest here. Like that. Okay. And I'm going to do the same here. I got some of my metal medium. See if I can't get a couple of highlights on the edges of these coins. That's all it takes. And I think we're good to go on that mace slash axe. I will take some of my dark metallic purple and get a little more separation on his claws there. That's the other nifty thing, is that you can actually literally glaze with a darker metal color like this. A nice little happy glaze. Gonna go back to my light green over here. I think, yeah, you can see that. And now look at this, couple of, you can see those. It's not just, so that's the, it's double TMM right there, because you're not just getting the reflected light that you want, but it's reflected light that has a color to it. Again, that is why all of this stuff, let's see, how it always begins. I'm going to bleed your starter kit that includes brushes. Some more of my green down here. I will get a little bit of it up here, because having a little bit of that bright green will also make some of the orange. By default, it'll make some of that orange brighter. Now you can see some other examples of the metallic paints here, like on this one. So the guy on the far left-hand side, Jaime Lannister, that was done the same way as this. All those red reflections in his armor, I just took red paint, mixed it with the metal medium, and then I was able to paint basically red reflections on his armor. Now I'm going to go, speaking of red, this is that sort of reddish gold that we made here. Another dark for some of our shadows in here. And again, just a couple of these little lines. See what that does? Look at a couple of red lines in there. I also, right here in this face here, going to get just a touch more of that red. Thinking here on the underside of his eyes, make that a little lighter. This also could use a touch of shading right there, because the other one I already got that pretty well. That one's pretty well set. Back to my very lightest of gold colors here. Do I need to put that in his... I'm going to just hit his nostril one more time with those lighter tones. Also, this part of him here, you can see we got our green there. We've got that reddish purple color over there. So all of that. I know some people will say, like with the non-metallics, you're forcing the shading, whatever. Well, with the metallics, by themselves, you're just not doing enough shading, and this is sort of the happy medium between the two. I mean, to me, I don't care. It's either one is equally fun to me. I'm not in one of those armed groups that just says one has to be better than the other. The only reason if more commissions had asked for metallic paint over the years, I would have been doing more metallic stuff. But 100% of the time, it has always been non-metallic metal. Now I'm going back to my orange over here. I'm going to hit a couple of these like that. I think you can see that gray. There's some of the green in there, but this has nothing going on right here. There's nothing. We will start with our metallic purple here. I'm going to take a touch of the brown liner, make it even darker. And we're going to go like this right here. You can see that reference picture on the side. That's one of the things that we're looking at. So we immediately get more shape just by making that darker. That was handy. Now, back to this lighter green over here. I try and get it where you can see it. And then the goal is to just bring out a couple of those scales. And why the green? Well, we're trying to reflect that grayish rock. So now we've got definitely more fun stuff going on here. That was just getting a little bit boring there. Not much happening. I'm going to use some of this reddish gold now. That might be a little bit, or it's kind of an orangey red. There we go. Again, it's metallic though, so it's not going to be too jarring. It's not going to spoil the effect of the metal at all. And if you go back and watch the VOD of this from the beginning, you'll see how this has really evolved in just 3 hours. Because that's how long we've been working on this, just 3 hours. We will be doing more of these little baby dragons from Dark Sword. I think I've got about 5 more of these. I'll try and come up with different themes. And who knows, maybe we'll just do a whole series of baby metal dragons. I don't know. That could be very interesting. I'm gonna go with some of this more just straight up purple color here. There. Let's get a little glaze of that in here too. And once again, glazing with a metallic color here. Let's see if I can't get a little bit of a darker green. We've gotten that lighter green. I'm going to do a little bit of a darker green now. Again, got to keep that metal medium in there to keep it metallic. So now we've got ourselves sort of a dark green. Where's that going to go? That is going to go down here and here. I'm going to put some more of that right over here. That's what we're looking for, reflection of the rocks here. If it's gold is a super reflective material, so you got to do that. Wait a minute, do we got a real brush guy in the house? We do. Real brush guy in the house. How are you doing? This has been a lot of fun using the metal medium, mixing it with mostly pro acrylic transparent paints. So here it is. So we've been mixing the metallic medium with all kinds of stuff. The transparent orange, transparent purple, all kinds of fun stuff. And that's what's kind of given us all these fun colors in our metals, but also some TMM. Like you can see the greens in there now. So all kinds of fun. Look at what's going on here. Some orange even. You can even see the green in the wing right there. But everybody, if you're not already following Real Brush Guy, which I'm sure you are, if you're not, definitely give him a follow. And I'm going to, look at that, I'm going to get some of that darker green right here into some of these spines. Just a touch of it there. We're literally glazing with a metallic color. How fun is that? We're not just glazing a metallic color, but we're glazing a dark green metallic color into some of our shadow areas here. So look at that, what that's going to do. So that green is going to make this orange gold look that much more orange. It's a color contrast, not just a value contrast. And that's something that's really hard to do with just regular metallic paints. Yeah, these dark sword dragons, brush guy, they are really fun. Now I've got some of the big ones, and by big I mean what, 20 some odd inch wingspan or something like that. And I've got some of the ones in between as I add a little more green over there. Now let's go with that. There's some of this nice orange gold that we made. That's going to go out here. And then our insanely bright yellow gold, which doesn't come in any container. You just have to mix it and make it yourself. I'm going to attempt to get some sleep despite it being 6:30. Well, it's 5:30 a.m. here. And I'm hoping that that print didn't fail. I can't even tell if it's still going because that's in a whole different part of the house. But I will be checking that out at some point here. But these need, we added the darker points. Now we're going to add some lights in here. Again, along the edge of this, the spine of the dragon. Well, worm, I guess. I'm assuming that's what a baby dragon is called. Couple more lights over here. Again, we've got a purple that we can take advantage of. This has to be a little lighter here. Oh, how's about some more of that brighter orange metallic there? There's, again, a little bit of metal medium in there. Make sure that it stays metallic, and there we go. If that's going to be where that is, it needs to be picking up a little more light than it's picking up. Nice there. Oh, let's see, Godzilla, the Shriner print. I painted some of the big ones from Dark Sword, even one in metallic. Wormling. Oh, yeah. That sort of does indicate something that's not quite fully grown or even adolescent there. I guess maybe the worm is the adolescent dragon or something. There's a little more of that. The last Dark Sword dragon that I painted actually was, good grief, probably around 2004 or something like that. So it's been wild doing these. But yeah, I didn't realize just how many dragons they had, but there's a bunch of them. And I think I'm going to just try and do the dragons in different metals and have some fun with that. Let's see, Gimme says check the Necronomicon. What is that? Yeah, you know, that's going to need some of my dark purple here. So again, this is purple metallic because we mixed the metal medium in there. And now we're going to get ourselves a little separation in there. That's better. Yep. Much better. Do we need some? Yeah, I'm going to get some brown liner here. We'll mix a little touch of the metal medium in with that to make sure that it's still got a little metal in it. Just to separate some of those scales. That is helpful. Oh, they'll catch you later, Karoo. Let's see, or whelp or hatchling, depending which lore you refer to. It's difficult for me because I didn't read sci-fi or fantasy books at all. So, like Lord of the Rings, I had never heard of it before until we went into the movie theater around about 20 years ago. Yes, that's how long it's been. So when it comes to comic book characters and D&D type things and all that sort of stuff, it's still it's still kind of new to me in some ways. You know what? I'm going to get a little touch of this on the end here. Well, I'll catch you later, Karoo. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, a couple. Ooh, this one also somehow has not gotten its light. There we go. I might throw a few lighter colors on the skulls here. Let's see what this does. Actually, I'm gonna do maiden flesh. No, maggot white. Maiden flesh is the reddish off-white. I want to do sort of a bluish off-white here. Don't need a whole bunch of it, but I don't want those skulls to end up being too warm because then they'll sort of compete with they'll compete with all the golds in the dragon. So let's not do that. Let's have that be lighter, yes, but more of a bluish tone. A little bit here on our skulls. Also, don't want those to get too light. They're not supposed to be any kind of bleached bone. That would be more for the desert. In this kind of environment here, the skulls would almost be more black than anything else. Just from absorbing water or whatever in a, I don't know, maybe this is a, well, it's probably not a cave. But what I'll be doing is tomorrow I'm going to be throwing some of my leaves on here, some of my cut leaves and some other things to give the base a little more added dimension and color. Not too much because we don't want it to compete with the dragon. But you'll be able to see all the finished images on the Instagram page or whatever. That's linked to the Twitch channel here, but it's also right there on the screen, just same as this name, Wappelius on Instagram. Amazon is coming out with a Lord of the Rings show. It is 2021. They've got 2 seasons approved, and each season's going to be 20 episodes. It's going to be Second Age. It's basically going to be all about the rise and fall of Numenor. They've talked about some of the folks that have been cast for various parts. Most likely you will see Sauron and in his fair self as he tries to corrupt the Numenorians, spoiler alert, and get them to worship Morgoth. And it would be kind of neat if they showed that the attempt where they try to sail west to go take on the Valar. That could be fun. I don't know if they will. But the Tolkien estate is they've said they get final veto, and anything that strays too far away from the story, they get to veto that away. Let me see. Oh, the Book of Wappel. Thank you so much, Armored Wolf, because we haven't had any. Let's go to some of our later ones here. Uh-oh, look at that. Think long, think wrong. How many times I've watched people paralyze themselves by just thinking too much. Also, very crucial here, again, the ancient tome of wisdom says, he who shall not work on the entire figure at once shall never know context. And that's quite true. Oh, and of course, you shall not bear false witness. against the Wappel oils. Back to the oils again. He who shall make haste with blending his oils shall reap only mud. And if you want to see this right here, this was our latest session that I did. This was painted in oils, all in one session. We did all the wet blending there. It was totally dry in less than 24 hours. And this is now on the YouTube channel, just James Wappel on YouTube if you want to watch how this was painted. We got Kiwis. Kiwis in the house. How are you doing? We're having a blast here with our, I almost said now metallic, with our metallic paints. Well, metal medium specifically. So I'm just looking to get a couple of these coins over here. Boom, like that. Beef in the hole. Yes, they, well, I mean, those words, like, Cthulhu was barely a baby when those words were written. So, I mean, come on. I mean, the painting pyramid has been around since the formation of the galaxy, since before the formation of the universe, basically. I'm going to get some more darks into my coins over here. Again, that's a darker glaze. That is essentially a purple metallic color there. Now, oh, gee, let's do something with his. You can barely see those toes there, but I'm just doing a quick little glaze there again. Oh, I'm going to get some of that little bit of my brown, a bit of brown liner in there to go even darker on some of that. In here too, yeah, to get some more reflection on that. Do we need some? Yes. So if that's going to be darker, let's get some more orange in here, metal medium. Can you see that? I know his ear or whatever that is sort of blocking you from being able to see that. Touch more orange here. Do we need some more orange on his wings? Perhaps. Also going to get a bit of it there. Just a little bit here. And it looks like a glaze. It is, sort of. It's a dry glaze. Because part of it is when you add the... Once you get into a metallic type thing, it's not really going to cover, which is handy. Look at that. So again, a little more orange in there. Let's see, a leather-bound tome with homemade paper for you to have a book of Wappel. Oh my gosh. Oh yes, we have to do that. Oh, and folks, by the way, you can get dice bags with, well, eventually you'll be able to get more dice bags with painted stuff like this. Go check out Armored Wolf Etsy page, dice bags. Yes. You've seen Kathy with her dice bag of Nurgle goodness. That was from Armored Wolf. You get unbelievable metalwork. Actually, yeah, could you imagine the... wow, that would be fantastic. Well, we would definitely have to make sure that each page has been aged in there, right? We'll have to get some kind of decent sort of parchment paper for that. Well, hey, I'll get to do some of my calligraphy then. I mean, you know me, love me some calligraphy. Get another one of our little purple glazes in here. Except I'm going to toss in, that's some of the red there from Green Stuff World. How's about there? A couple of darks in there too. Couple of, just not all along here, just a couple of couple of dots there, just like we would do if it was non-metallic. Same exact process, same thought process. All we're doing is just adding metal medium to it. Let's see, Kiwi's is working. She has enough mobility. Oh, we got GB Biker is back. I dragged away to a work cell phone call and come back to something completely different. Well, thank you very much. This is, well, let's see. We've been at this 3 hours and 20 minutes now. And that also includes the base, which we've been able to get some fair amount of painting on too. That's good. And what I'll do, like I said, I'll put some pictures of this up on Instagram tomorrow. I think it's time for my next Instagram post. Let's see, she has enough mobility. Tea coffee stain, handmade paper should work nicely for an age. Look, that should really do it. Can you imagine the calligraphy on that? Maybe a little bit of blood here and there, since to represent that unicorn's blood that keeps one young forever. That's why I've had so many 21st birthdays. They just keep coming. Always 21. Not doing English at all. Well, yeah, but that's me. Well, especially now that it's...
Hello, little hobbits. Spark my ganja.
Hey, Mr. Creed, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. Back into the fold. Get some of my purple there. Now back to some of the orange over here. Right there on the back of his leg. Gonna make that orange a touch brighter. I don't know if you can see. I'm just trying to get some of the... Reach back here, get some of that. Now back to that brighter yellow. And a few little dots here. Like so. And you really start to see now the orange showing through. And again, this is that green stuff world. What was that red called again? It was Caesar red. Yeah. And we're mixing some of the transparent yellow with it, along with our metal medium. Again, it gives us a nice reddish orange to work with, just so perfect. I've got to decide here. I've got a nice sort of a greenish tone there, so that means I'm going to sneak in a couple of dots of my orange color here. It's not going to affect the value of it, but it's going to affect the color of it. A little bit more of the color transition as opposed to just a value transition. Well, yes, I mean, a tool cover with, and if you want to see what he is talking about, there you go. Worship the one true brush, the craft brush. Now, actually, if you want to see why I talk about colors and all that other kind of stuff, well, this is what I used to do back in the day. That's a watercolor right there. That was actually made into a puzzle, which I could not assemble because, yeah, couldn't assemble that. These guys actually, as a lot of folks are starting to hear, I want to sculpt some busts of these guys, and hopefully I'll be able to do these on a live stream maybe. Gonna sculpt those in epoxy sculpt. Oh, look at that. Talk about an ancient tome right there. And this is a pastel from, you don't want to know how long ago that was, but look at what's in the yellow there. You see green, orange, purples, grays. But when your eye looks at it, you just say, oh, there you're wearing yellow. but much more to yellow than just yellow, which there's much more to our golds here than just yellow. So yeah, the wolf was just, that's a watercolor, and if you want to check those out on the blog, just go to wappeliasblogspot.com. There's actually a link on the Twitch channel here to it, and just check out the 2D art section. And actually, I do actually have an example of 2D art now. I think it is still available to watch as a VOD, but I was painting an Italian battleship in 2D form. I think that was part 2 of my birthday. Yeah, that was part 2 of my birthday stream. There was painting that Italian battleship in 2D, just in acrylics, using the same stuff I would if I was using them to paint a miniature. Yeah, let's get a little touch of our yellow in here. Again, it's a nice orange right there. Just looking to get a couple of more if I can. To break up that surface just a touch there. Okay, let's see what we just added right over there.